Oh, wow. You got some new plushies, Clay? What you got? Oh. And sugar. So we're doomed. Well, hi everybody. It's One Piece Day. We're here. We're going One Piece. Tamer will be with us a little later. But it's time for the Ennie's Lobby arc. You guys ready?
Begrudgingly.
Purple XLL and a little flappy bat. Aw, that's cute.
Axolotl.
Purple Axolotl? What?
Mary got some new plushies today, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love that.
Where are they?
I don't
They
think
come?
she put up a video a picture anywhere. If she wants to, she can drop a picture in one of the Discords. She's saying hi. I know that you guys aren't paying attention to the chat.
Hi. Hola. Buenas tardes. ¿Cómo está?
Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y usted?
Quiero morir.
Hey Turtle, I'm gonna ask this to you live. Are we still down for drawing stream tomorrow, or do you want to postpone again?
Let's do it.
Alright. Yeah. Everybody here? Everybody ready to go?
Just about.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. We're ready to go. I started the thing in Valdraken, and I wanted to make sure that the NPCs and start talking through the entire shit as you were explaining the beginning of Eddie's lobby.
Fair enough.
So I'll leave that alone for a while.
Yes,
Come
Klee,
back
I know
later.
what the notification said. I forgot to change it. I'm stupid. I changed everything else but that. Anyway, it is One Piece Day. If you are not watching the screen already within Discord, I am casting my Photoshop as per usual. Do we want to start off with the rundown of the Straw Hats again, or do you think you got it? Oh, shit! Alright, Turtle, fine. Just turn into a pirate on me. No, that's fine.
You're welcome.
Yeah. But yeah, do we want to do a rundown of the Straw Hats?
Yes.
Alright.
Yes.
King is not able to retain this information. I'm kidding.
King benefits from a refresh every 2 weeks when we do this.
Alright, so, as per the usual, we have Luffy as the captain, Zoro, first mate and swordsman, Nami, navigator, Usopp, liar and marksman, Sanji, cook, Chopper, the doctor, and Robin, who is somewhat AWOL at the moment, or at least captured, as the archaeologist. And
You wrote Rodin for her name, not Robin.
look,
Your P is backwards.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna hurt every single feather on your body. I'm gonna pluck them all. Okay. Anyway,
So aggressive, so squiggly.
I've been waiting 30 minutes to start this thing because King wanted to do a Magic the Gathering thing. So, you know what? Maybe I'm a little on edge.
We didn't have to wait. That was just until you were ready.
I was ready 30 minutes ago
Then why didn't you say anything?
because he wanted to do this, and I'm a nice person, unfortunately.
You shouldn't be. He wants to do a lot of things.
Anyway, that is the current crew. Who knows? Maybe by the end of this arc, this will change up a little bit. Who knows? We'll find out.
Yeah, one of them will die.
Maybe one of them will die. You never know. Anyway.
Maybe one of them will die and come back as a skeleton with an afro.
Yeah. That's definitely how that's
how
gonna work.
that happens.
No. Let him dream.
Okay.
Anyway, so yes, as per the previous, we had our little train rescue attempt where Sanji, Usopp, and Frankie, who was also abducted by CP9, attempted to save Robin. Robin unfortunately would not go with the Straw Hats, and in the process, Frankie has also been captured, and we arrive on Eni's lobby, the place where it's always sun, there is no night, and there's a hole in the fucking world. Who knew?
Where does it go? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. It goes somewhere, and who knows? Maybe someday we'll explore it, but probably not.
Probably never.
It hasn't been brought back up since. So, in the process of doing this, the Robin and Frankie have been led to the Tower of Law, which is this thing right here. Within this section is where all of the Navy and world government agents basically live when they're, stationed on Eni's lobby. And the little building right there is the courthouse. This over here is just a gate. That's another gate. Just, to give a little bit of a basic information of exactly what everything is. So leading in, we do get to meet a couple of new characters. The first of these characters is actually someone we've met before in the past, a long time ago, in a very particular flashback, being Frankie's flashback. We get to meet our favorite character. I'm sure you remember him. He's the reason why Tom is dead. As it turns out, Spondum's alive, and he's looking like
I liked Tom.
Tom was good.
I liked Tom a lot.
We all liked Tom, and this man is the reason he's gone. Yes, this is Spondum. No longer is he.
I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
we're like 4 arcs in, and this is the first time I felt actual rage at a villain in this series.
Oh, it'll be worse soon. Spondum is
I
not
know.
a
I'm
good
just
person.
letting you know. Like, I'm just letting you know. Like, none of the others did it really.
Yeah.
And this one, no. This one I want to rot. This one I want to. This one I want to die slowly and painfully over the course of. I want them to be strapped to a chair and have bamboo grown under their fingernails.
Congratulations, you've joined pretty much the entirety of the rest of the fandom when it comes to this guy. He is.
I don't believe in torture, except for this guy.
He is no longer the lead of CP9. Of CP5. He is now the head of CP9, in charge of all of the agents, including Lucci. We also have a couple of new members of CP9 that have been introduced.
CP standing for again?
Cypher.
Remind me. Okay.
Yes, stands for Cyber. So, as a reminder, we have for CP9, we have Rob Lucci,
Oh, right, the pigeon.
the pigeon guy. We have our Usopp knockoff in Kaku.
He looks way better in that tracksuit
Oh yeah,
and like Fed hat than he has any right to.
oh yeah, he makes it look good. We have Bluno,
Gotta respect the fit.
Bluno from the bar,
What up?
and Kalipa.
Hang on, there is one. So I remember how I mentioned Bluno might be a reference to the Blunos, the famed racing ship. There is something else it could also be a reference to.
What is that?
Bluto is he's kind of burly, he's kind of big. It might be a Bluto reference from Popeye.
I mean, it might be. Something that you'll learn about Oda very quickly while watching the show. He loves Western cartoons. Like, it comes across a lot in Luffy and just his general comedic vibe when it comes to the series, mostly in the reactions.
Yeah.
So it's very likely that Bluno was a reference to him a little bit.
Yeah.
But we also have 3 other members that we are being introduced to.
It would also be really strange to me for a piece of media based so heavily on pirates to not make any reference to Popeye
Yeah.
in its work. Like, that's...
We have
I know
Jabra.
Popeye himself isn't a pirate, he's a marine, but...
Yeah. Well, he's not even a marine. He's a
Sailor.
He's a government agent.
Sailor. Oh, no, I meant... What I was saying was Popeye wasn't a pirate.
Oh no. Yeah, he was
Sailor.
He was a sailor. Yeah. We have Jabra, who he and Lucci don't get along very well. Also, turns out he is another Zoan type devil fruit user, using the dog fruit model wolf.
Okay. What other dog fruit? Have we had a dog fruit before now, or is this our first dog fruit?
We've had multiple dog fruits. One of yours is one of them being your least favorite.
Right, the gun took the dog.
Uh-huh.
I
It
would
was-
have so much less issue with it that
It was a dachshund.
if it was the dog ate a gun fruit. I would have so much less issue with a dog eating a gun fruit than a gun eating a dog fruit.
How did the gun eat is the thing.
It's never explained,
Yes!
and it probably never will be.
Like, did the person just, take a bit of it and load the gun with...
It's possible. Some people theorize that it might be a kind of like what you would do with a lacquer, where they kind of like sort of soak the gun in like the juice of it. There's really no explanation yet. All we can do is
so
fucking
weird.
think about it, and some
It's
people
so
get mad.
weird.
Other people accept it because this is One Piece, and that's how this shit goes. We also have
You hear that,
Kumadori.
hon?
He's got a hell of a quirk in the fact that he is very much he really likes Japanese theater. So his very existence is always constantly being like a Japanese like actor, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Specifically, he sees himself as a lion within Japanese theater. And lastly, we have this pudgy boy.
Fan wiki for Bluno. Just the trivia section. Like, I avoided any spoilers. His name is the Japanese transliteration of the Italian name Bruno, in reference to the Water 7 setting being inspired by Venice, Italy.
Oh, there you go.
Just because that was gonna keep bothering me for like in a way that I don't think most other characters' names will. That one was gonna stay bothering me until I had like, what is the prevailing, like, do we have a reason for it? And it's like, okay, it's Bruno. Cool, got it.
And we also have Fukuro, who is just the pudgiest of boys. Also has got a zipper on his mouth for a very good reason, in the fact that he can't keep his fucking mouth shut. He will spill secrets all the time, which is not good for a secret agent. Unfortunately, the zipper on his mouth doesn't really stop him because, you know, he kind of unzips it to still spill the beans. Like the fact that Jabra recently got dumped by his girlfriend.
Aww.
Yeah. So that's a whole thing that's going on. Spondum, of course, has his own quirks in the fact that he's very clumsy, but we went over that last time. And he's also got a guy. He's got a dude. And that dude is going to make a very particular person in this chat mad. Come on. Where's a nice image of Funk Free? There we go. He has a pet elephant
Okay.
by the name of Funkfried. Funkfried
I like this so far.
is the sword that ate the elephant fruit.
I hate this now.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Did you say the sword that ate the elephant fruit?
Yep. He is.
That's it. Jump off.
Nope. Get back here. You can fly. Jumping off a cliff doesn't do anything.
I know. Also, I literally
At
jumped off
least-
a cliff in Dragon Riding
What the
as I
fuck?
said that.
It's a thing it can do.
You know
he
what?
can have change.
At least it's cuter than the dog.
It is a better looking abomination than the dog was.
And this is his full sword form, which is fun because it's got the tusks in there, and his little feet make the guard.
It's a really nice looking sword.
It's a nice sword.
It's a sword.
Those tusks it snap pretty easy, but yeah.
Well, I mean, they would become steel while it's a sword, so
Okay.
It
Say ivory, because
I think it's a lot
gonna-
more accepting of the sword than the gun.
it does seem that way. Yes. This is the last canon.
I also wasn't drinking when you introduced the gun. I am now.
Fair enough.
Oh, okay.
That would do
Never
it.
mind.
This is also the last canon item that has eaten the devil fruit so far. I say so far
I am
because the
still
series
gonna
not over.
turn that. I am still gonna turn that thing's tusks into fucking pool balls.
Okay. All right. Anyway. But yeah.
I will play billiards with your tusks.
But yeah, so this is the rest of our group of problems that is CP9. With the remaining members now on display, each of them showing off their quirks, being a little bit weird, and they have arrived with Robin and Frankie in tow. in order to achieve Spondum's final goal of wanting to bring back Pluton for his own personal power, even though he's claiming it's for the world government. But I'm sure that the world government knows that that's not the truth, and blah, 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 blah. We also very quickly find out that he is an entire bastard, as he not only has given the order to take care of the Straw Hats, who are currently working on raiding Ennie's lobby to get to Robin, basically going back on their deal where she would sacrifice herself in order for them to leave safely, going off of, yeah, we let them leave Water 7. We let them leave safely. What did they do? They decided to come here. So, oh well.
I mean, he is an entire bastard, but I do love that logic of, hey, we held up our end of the bargain, not our fault. Your friends are dumbasses and followed you here.
Yeah, but you quickly will lose that for him, because he is constantly beating, berating, and abusing the hell out of Robin throughout the entirety of this arc. And I'm not even kidding.
I'm not gonna continue. I'm not gonna continue liking that guy. If he weren't so much of a bastard for other reasons,
oh yeah,
that's exactly the kind of thing I like in my villain. Of, I held up my hand to the bargain. It's not my fault your friends value you so highly.
Good job.
It's a very good. It's a very good.
Yeah. During this time period, I'm trying to do my best to remember, because now it's not as fresh in my mind as it was a couple of weeks ago. So back with the Straw Hats, the plan starts out as, okay, what we're gonna do is the Frankie family and Galila are gonna go in first to try to open up the front gate, and then the next gate, in order to allow for you guys to get in no problem. And the entire crew agrees, including Luffy, until he decides that he's just gonna fucking go for it anyway, and Gum Gum rockets himself from the still driving train, which is now kind of circling the island in a sense, or at least kind of doing a circle in front of the island, and launches himself onto the top of the first gate, takes a good look, freaks out over the fact that, there's just a hole in the fucking ocean, but he's like, I can't get distracted. This isn't the time for that. Jumps down and starts making his way into Ennie's lobby, eventually bypassing the second gate and making his way into the main city area, where he's going to spend pretty much the next couple of episodes running from the entirety of the island while trying to find out where Robin is. And it's not really much of an inconvenience for him the entire time. He takes out about 1,000 men in the entirety of him going through that place. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a report that does go into Spondum when he's trying to find out what's happening, where the guy initially says it looks like, he's taken down 200 guys. Like, what? You can't be serious. What? Come on. Luffy takes out another group. He's like, no, yeah, you're right. That's not right. Hold on. Let me recount. And he starts to say 500, but gets knocked out before he can say the 100 part. So Spondum, being the idiot that he is, believes that Luffy has only knocked out 5 guards. And just kind of goes on about his time. He's not worried about it. So yeah, that's a whole thing that's happening, including that Spondum becomes unable to be communicated with due to the fact that he has knocked the receiver off of his Den Mushi, the transponder sail, and therefore it can't be called because it's off the receiver. So they're trying to get reports to him, but he's not responding because he can't pick up. During this time, the Frankie family and Galila get through the first gate and come to the second gate, where we get to meet 2 new people within our lovely, lovely arc. That being Kashi and Oimo. Come on. Annie's lobby arc should have the information about this. There they are. Kashi and Oimo being another pair of giants.
Yay, giants!
We have more giants.
I like the giants.
They're good giants. They're currently working for the world government, but they are giants. This would be Oimo. Not Oima. Not Oimo. There we go. Good enough. That'd be Oimo. And this is Kashi. Now, we will pretty quickly come to learn that the reason why they're working for the world government is actually not because they are government agents, but because they have been told if they watch the gate of Eni's lobby for a full century, their bosses will be let out of Impel Down. Their bosses are people
Wow.
we know. People we've already met.
But if it was the other giants, they haven't been.
They were not captured. Oimo and Kashi
Okay.
went out about, I think it was about 30 to 50 years after the duel started between the two giant captains, in order to find out what was going on, because why is it taking this long? As they were setting sail and heading out, they eventually were caught by the Marines, who lied to them and told them that they had caught their bosses a long time ago and they were currently in Impel Down. So they're being lied to. We don't find this out right away, of course. We just think that they're against us, and working for the world government for some reason. But yeah, just wanted to cover that really quickly. And it is Usopp who finds out about this and tells them the truth, by the way. So, the raid will turn around at a certain point where these two will join up with the rescue crews. So they won't be working for the world government for very long. With the actual battle, though, Galila and the more named members of the Frankie family, using the two king bulls, which they were able to strap treads onto to allow them to go on land to help out with getting through the city, do take the two of them down and get this second gate open. During that time period, the Marines who had been taken down at the first gate noticed that there is a train coming directly at them, because the whole idea was that Rocket Man was going to burst through all the way into the heart of Eni's lobby with the Straw Hats on it. But the Marines noticed, they closed the door, so there's a bit of a problem now. The gate's closed, they can't exactly just burst through. Zoro has a plan. And it's never a good thing when Zoro gets a plan. His plan is to have the frog, the sumo frog, basically bend the front gates that are in the water in front of the island. And when Rocket Man hits it, it not only takes it as a track for a ramp, it also super speeds, launching them not only over the top of the first gate, but over the top of the second gate as well. Oimo had gotten back up a little bit after this point, but unfortunately takes Rocket Man to the back, officially taking him out of the fight for the moment. So the Straw Hats are all on the island now. They do survive the crash. The old lady with them also does survive. I think I got a picture of here somewhere. What the? Interesting. Well, she's in here somewhere. Granny Kokoro. You remember her, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, Granny Kokoro and her granddaughter and everyone has also ended up inside of Water 7 now. So that is a whole deal that is going on at the moment. Also, so they find out that Luffy's got to be like if not at the courthouse by now, basically gonna be there eventually. So their whole thing is to gun beelining for the courthouse, running into some problems along the way, including one where unfortunately one of the king bulls does get taken down, does not die. I will preface that right now. But one of them does get taken down. The other takes on his burden to go forward because they are actually very loyal to Frankie and the Frankie family, because they not only saved them from the stomach of a sea king, chose not to eat them that day too. So because of that, they're very loyal to the Frankie family, which we find out through Chopper because he can talk to animals. Sorry, I'm playing off as much as I can. But eventually they make it to the courthouse, where they also get to see that there's a bit of a thing going on the roof, as far as they can tell. As it turns out, Bluno noticed that the receiver was off the hook and figured that, the report had to be wrong about the fact that there had only been 5 people taken out so far. But instead of reporting it or telling anybody else, he decided to go to the courthouse roof, where he finds Luffy. He's a CP9 agent. He's being arrogant about this shit right now. So we have a battle between Luffy and Bluno as our first rematch against CP9. Now, this fight does not go the way that Bluno thinks it's gonna go. Not only has Luffy actually started to keep up visually with Bluno, able to predict where he's going to show up whenever he uses shave, able to actually hurt him a little bit when he attacks. We also go into the fact that Luffy has been making some new moves. During this arc, we get the system that Luffy has come up as a sort of power-up system, where he calls them gears. So at the moment, we've got his normal form, which is basically Gear 1, and he reveals Gear 2. Which Gear 2 is where he uses his rubbery ass body and his legs to essentially more quickly pump his blood throughout his entire body. Which in the insanity that is One Piece and Devil Fruits actually gives him a massive speed boost, to where he can now match the speed of Shave, if not go past it. It also has at least in the anime, it has the effect of turning all of his skin red. And he's just expelling steam, because he's basically turned himself into a steam engine when he's doing this, is the best way to put it.
Nice.
And we also get his jet abilities, which are essentially instant punches in a sense. And Bluno gets put on the back foot very quickly and then defeated not like maybe 10 seconds after that with a jet bazooka, where he thinks that he can outpace it with an iron body at the highest level he can pull off, but he goes down. So our first member of CP9 has been defeated. No more Bluno. Gear 2 does have a bit of a drawback in the fact that it does use up a lot of energy very quickly. Thankfully, Luffy had pre-planned for this and stuffed some meat in his pockets back when he was on the train, so he's got some food to eat.
Nice.
Yeah. So he's munching while the other members of CP9 are currently in a different room within the Tower of Law, because Spondum actually had a gift for them. It wasn't a gift for them doing well. He just so happened to have some contacts that actually were able to get their hands on some devil fruits. Devil fruits that were specifically given to Kaku and Caulifla. We don't know what they can do just yet. Well, I mean, I do, but you guys don't, and we'll go into it later. In that time period, though, Robin and Frankie are having a conversation. They now know that the straw had to come for them, with Frankie actually, going in and saying, That's really cool that you got a whole rescue party coming for you. It's not many people who would do something like that. Robin is still freaking out because, the very fact that her friends are not only in danger once again, but the Buster call is still something that could happen. And she wants nothing more than for them to leave so that way they will not get hurt. But at this point, it doesn't seem like that's going to be a thing that happens. She's not willing to face them, but Frankie, being the guy that he is, says that he's going to force them to. I don't know if I can get a picture of this, but I'm going to try. There it is. I knew there would be an image of it somewhere. He essentially expands him booty. Just gonna get like right up in there. He expands his booty. First off, first off, claiming that since he's gonna get taken away anyway, at least to the Marines and to Spondum, that what, fuck it, I may as well just blow myself up. You guys better run away or you're gonna die. It's gonna take out like a 15-meter radius. So he's done that. The Marines and Spondum all freak out and try to get away because for all they know, he's not lying. He grabs Robin with his legs and essentially releases a fart. That fires them not only through the wall behind them, but also out onto the balcony of the Tower of Law, where at the moment, Luffy is waiting and calling out to Robin, trying to find out if she was there in the first place. Apparently the plushie pics are in the guild chat, by the way.
Okay, I'll check here in a second.
But yeah, so Robin now is facing Luffy, and he's excited. He sees her, and he's like, "Oh, Robin, there you are. We came to get you." And she goes, "Why the fuck are you here? I told you I was leaving the crew. I told you that I'm not going back with you. You should have just left." So she's still very much in the mindset of they need to go away.
Those plushies are adorable.
Well, you may as well check them now, King. They are very cute. Look at all them.
Yeah, so
Soon as I get the...
During this time period, there are two events that happen. One, Spondum's laughing because he's like, haha, she said no. I can't wait to see the look on his face because she doesn't want to go back with him and all that shit. And he came all the way here. Luffy's just sitting there picking his nose and looking confused, going, I don't understand, Robin. What do you mean? Because she starts yelling about the fact that she just wants to die. In that time period, the Straw Hats all start to show up on top. CP9 comes out, and we get a nice little standoff across the way from each other.
Hello.
Hello. You're just in time for the Straw Hats standing on the tower on the courthouse building.
What's up, Shade?
We get them all lined up as such, with Luffy yelling out, it was a lot of trouble for us to come here, so we're gonna rescue you anyway. If you still want to die after that, that's fine. You're just gonna die as a member of our crew. So he's not against her doing what she wants. She's just not allowed to abandon the crew because of it, essentially.
Yeah.
During this time, Tamara, you showed up at the best and worst possible time. It's flashback time.
Yeah!
Specifically, it is Robin's flashback time.
Yep.
And Robin's flashback is by no means easy whatsoever.
Oh.
I'm hoping to get a good little image of baby Robin because we are going quite a ways back to when she was 8 years old.
By the way, can y'all hear this?
Hear what?
Yeah. It was the sound of my faucet running.
No, we could
Did
not.
any of you hear it? No. Okay, sweet. Hey, because I got to do some dishes while I'm here.
Sounds good. So I'm still on grabbing stuff duty. Gotcha.
Oh, if you need me to, I can quickly pop back over to my
No,
computer
do
and
your
grab
thing.
an image.
Do your thing.
No. I can help my friend and do the dishes. I can do two things at once.
Just trying to get a picture of baby Robin. I want baby Robin. Fine. I will go to Google. Fuck you, fandom.
How many keys am I at?
I don't know. How many keys did you have?
13.
14.
You were
Oh wow,
close.
it's actually close.
Baby
He's dropped.
Robin. Baby
Like,
Robin.
This zone is great.
Well, hold off on going for some more, because I definitely want to get some too.
Hold up. I
already have it.
did you already grab the image?
I do. Baby Robin!
He does not
Baby
look
Robin.
that odd-eyed all the time.
No, this is just a image where she's looking very confused at a very particular thing, which we will go into in a bit.
Indeed.
But, we cut back to about 8 years ago to baby Robin. She's sitting out on a stump in the middle of a forest on her home island of Ohara. And while she is reading, some dumbass kids throw a tomato at her. The reason why they are mean to Robin is because she already has her devil fruit at this time. So they call her a freak and a monster and all that kind of stuff. Robin's backstory is somewhat Cinderella-ish. Because as it turns out, she lives with her uncle and her mother. I mean, uncle and his wife, where she is more treated by his wife by her aunt as like
preload stuff.
sort of a slave kind of situation, because her mother had left the island a good couple of years ago. I think it was about maybe it was 4 to 6 years ago. I think it was. 4
Yeah,
to
it was
6.
when she was basically a baby.
Yeah, she was still very young. But her mother left the island and asked her brother to watch after Robin because Robin's dad is long since dead. Who knows what actually happened to him? It's an anime, I guess it's not important. But yeah, she's not treated well by her family. Thankfully, there is a place that she can go within the village where she actually has many, many, many friends, which is the library. The library of
books?
Ohara.
Mm-hmm.
Are the
By
friends
the way,
books?
speaking
The
of
friends
which-
are not just books. No.
Oh, okay. Because I
Yeah.
thought this was gonna get even more
Oh, yeah, no.
sad.
No.
In-
Not yet.
Okay. I'm okay if it eventually gets more sad, but I didn't want to get more sad for that reason.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start preloading some images that I believe you might be using.
Would it be like the Tree of Ohara?
Yes, but I got mine from more aerial view.
This is the Tree of Knowledge. It is actually a library that has stood on Ohara practically since the beginning of its history. It is filled with knowledge from all across the world. It is one of the foremost libraries in the entirety of the world. There are multiple researchers who take part here. People will come here for references and the like. And those who are within the actual that work within the library are the friends that I was referring to. It is not books. She, in specifics, her mentor and the actual owner of the current lead of the library is a man named Clover. And there is a very specific reason why he's called Clover, in the fact that his head looks like a clover. Or at least he
Right.
styles his hair in that way.
Finding a good image of this one character is kind of tough.
I'm gonna do something here really quick. Merge those.
Without
get
using
rid
the
of
mobile
this.
game. Because we're not using mobile game images, right?
If it's a good enough image, I don't care.
Alright.
But yeah, the head of the library and a renowned archaeologist and scientist by the man is a man named Clover. Him and his many friends within the library of Ohara are very proud of Robin and are giving her a party because today is the day that she passed her exam to become an 8-year-old archaeologist.
Official professor, PhD.
Her
I want to be angry at this, but I'm just so proud.
she did a good job. And
You
it's
should be
all,
proud.
it's all for a very good reason, because her mother is also an archaeologist and is the whole reason why she left Ohara in the first place. So in order to be with her mother when she comes back, she wanted to become an archaeologist as well, so the next time that her mom leaves, she could go with her on the expedition. That was her whole purpose for doing so. But yeah, so, and we also get a nice little image of the One Piece world right there. As you can see, it's got quite a number of moons, which may be a very good reason for why the Grand Line is as fucked up as it is.
Yeah, I remember when we were talking about Aokiji, how some people were worried about the ocean's getting fucked up. No. This place has enough things fucking it up as
Yeah,
it is.
the Grand Line's messed up as it is. There's not really much else that you can do to make it worse. But yeah, so she has. If you could grab me a picture of a poneglyph.
Yes.
Thank you. So she has completed her exam. She is a now recognized archaeologist, and I wouldn't say that she's like the top of the field, but she's very good. She's a genius child. She then reveals that she wants to start taking part in the research that the others have been doing. As it turns out, she had been using her powers to somewhat spy on the archaeologists within the library, and knows that they have been researching poneglyphs in secret. Because, as you may recall, learning
They're illegal.
that learning about the poneglyphs
Sorry,
is
let
illegal.
me do that better. Wait a minute, that's illegal. Sorry.
Yep. Or it's not illegal to learn about the poneglyphs. It's illegal to learn how to read them, and that is what they are doing. They are studying the poneglyphs. In order to.
If you're called. Yeah, you first.
They're studying them in order to try to gain the knowledge
more.
from the actual the cubes.
Yes.
And
But yeah, the reason why it's not illegal to learn about them is because, as we saw in Alabasta, they are very big. Some of them are in very prominent locations, some of them are in secret ones, and they're kind of indestructible.
yeah, they're just kind of there. Not much the world government can do about that.
Yeah.
But she also reveals that she has already learned how to read the language on the poneglyphs, which Clover and the other archaeologists immediately tell her she should never do that. She needs to keep that quiet, because what they're doing is very illegal and very much could get them killed someday soon. And being told that she can't be a part of the research, being rejected by the only people that she has seen as friends and loved ones for the past 4 to 6 years, she runs out of the library very distraught, not happy, and
Oh, by the way.
yeah, it's a whole thing.
Also, not to mention, and they planned for this to be a very happy occasion, her getting her PhD on her birthday, which so far has been very crap, only to then kind of be rejected on her birthday. It's not been a fun time.
She's not having a good day all of a sudden. Though that does somewhat change fairly quickly when she runs into a new person on the island. Someone who just arrived here. He was found face down on the beach, but he takes up a lot of the beach. We have another giant.
Yay, a giant!
This giant has a very particular name by the name of Jaguar D. Sol. Let me get the actual spelling of his name.
So, I'm gonna take a wild guess. The jaguar fruit?
He does not have a devil fruit.
Yeah, no
Sorry,
devil fruit.
The cat fruit model jaguar?
He does not have
No
a
devil fruit. He is just
Okay.
a giant.
Because that's a fucking lion's mane if ever I've goddamn seen one.
Oh yeah. That is part of what that is definitely his name definitely influenced part of his design, or maybe the other way around. All right.
He's got somewhat of a particular naming convention that goes with a couple of the members of the D clan in the fact that their last name is a animal. You know, Monkey D. Luffy, Jaguar D. Sol, stuff like that. I think one of the few is Portgus D. Ace. I don't even.
Yeah,
What the
and
hell
very
is what is else a Portgus? I'm sure that's something.
Pork?
Maybe you know what? Maybe you're right.
Yeah. Although,
But Marshall D.
No,
Teach
no.
breaks that
Yeah.
too. So,
oh yeah, he broke that too.
but a couple of them, their family names are the names of animals, and he's no exception. Now, Jaguar D. Sol, or just we're gonna call him Sol, is not from Elbath initially. As it turns out, he was actually a vice admiral in the Marines from a different clan of giants that is not as warmongery kind of setup as the giants of Elbath are. They don't have a Viking background setup essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is a Marine or a former Marine. As it turns out, he has gone AWOL from the Marines and previously escaped from the Marine base and somehow ended up all the way here in the West Blue on Ohara. And when he finds out about this, he is not happy at all. Because as it turns out, the secret research that the archaeologists are doing is not as secret as they were hoping for. Or at least there are some people who have an idea of what they're doing, and they are going to be looking for proof. As if on cue, within the next couple of days, after Saul has been recovering and trying to build a raft in order to get off of Ohara and leave, he and Robin have of course become very close friends in that time period. Saul even teaching her about a way to make herself feel better by laughing in a very particular way, which is which is good.
That's just how he laughs.
That's how he laughs.
He just finds it that if you are down in the dumps, just making yourself laugh, you'll eventually find a reason to laugh.
Yeah.
And a reason to smile still.
But Robin's also 8 years old, so she takes it very particularly like you have to laugh like him.
Yeah. And she's like, you have a bit of a funny laugh. And he's like, really? Well, guess that's just me then. But I kind of want to laugh like that too.
It's very good. But in the next couple of days, unfortunately, Saul's raft is not ready fast enough as a world government ship shows up on the island. The world government ship is toting a good couple of members of CP9 at that time period. Remember, this is about 20-ish years ago?
20-ish years. I believe the specific time is 17 years ago.
Yeah. But yes, the CP9 members who arrive are actually somewhat familiar. Not
Mostly
entirely.
just one of them.
Well, two of them.
Two of them? Yeah, that's right, two of them.
The first we have is the current leader of CP9 at that time period. Would be this motherfucker.
A man by the name of Spandine.
Spandime. That name sounds familiar, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. This is Spondum's dad. There is another father of a current member of CP9, in the fact that Khalifa's dad is there too, but he's kind of just a side character, so he's not super
Yeah,
important.
he's just kind of there. Doesn't really draw much attention.
His name's Lasky.
Yeah.
If you want to see what he looks like, this is him. That's him. Now, something of a difference between Spondum and Spondine. Spondine is still sort of a bastard, but he's more in control of himself in both the way that he acts like a bastard and also the fact that he's not clumsy as shit. So I guess that Spondum got that from his mom, or he's just in general a clumsy motherfucker. But
Could have been a Helmeppo situation.
Could have been.
Got spoiled rotten.
No. Spondum doesn't come off as a spoiled brat. He's just power hungry.
Hey.
Which can be a thing for any government worker. But essentially they're there to search the Tree of Knowledge in order to see if it's true that the archaeologists had been researching poneglyphs. They have the idea that this could be the case because recently they captured a Oharan ship out in the Grand Line, and after interrogation of the final crew member, found out that that ship was out looking for poneglyphs. And the reason why I say the final crew member is because only one member of the expedition team is still alive. That member, who has arrived on the island as well, at the same
Robin's
time
mom?
as all of this, Robin's mom,
One Nico Olivia.
Olvia.
Olvia, right. Sorry,
Yes.
there's no I there.
It is very
Nico
specifically
Olvia.
pronounced Olvia. Yeah. She looks a lot like her daughter. Only with white hair. And a nice touch that at least the English dub does is they actually have Robin's voice actor voice her in the flashback. So she not only looks a lot like Robin, she also sounds like Robin, but her voice is just a little bit deeper, a little bit more aged in a sense.
Yeah. The way that a good voice actor doesn't have to do just one voice.
Yeah. Olvia actually did arrive before the world government ship and was trying to warn the other archaeologists within the tree. There's actually a horrifying moment in which the two of them, where Olvia and Robin were actually running in the same towards the same direction in a sense, and literally passed right by each other.
Yeah, it's
Because
because
neither
Olvia was
remembers what
trying
they
to
look
warn the professors, but Robin was trying to warn Saul.
Was trying
So
to
they
warn Saul.
ran right past each other.
And of course, the two of them don't really remember what each other looks like, because it's been 6 years, so they wouldn't have even recognized each other in the first place anyway. So that was fun. That hurt. There is an investigation that goes on. They quickly find a secret basement that does have a poneglyph in it with multiple amounts of research. So it's very clear that, yes, the scholars of Ohara are trying to uncover the mysteries of the poneglyphs. There is a brief exchange between Clover and one of the Elder Stars, because they are called to be let known, hey, yeah, they are researching this. What do you want us to do? The exchange itself starts to give us a little bit of a crack into the Void Sentry.
Because namely, he at first, the Elder Star was like, hey, deal with the professors. But Clover was like, hold up. Then I at least want to confirm something before you prosecute us. And he starts going off, listing off these things like, so there was a great and powerful kingdom 800 years ago. That's what we found so far. her, and presumably the world government came from that kingdom.
No.
But
No,
no,
no.
different.
Can I make a really quick statement?
Sure.
This has nothing to do with anything.
I figured.
I just now peeked at the stream, and I
Mhm.
just wanted to make the comment that Tamer's art is adorable.
Yes, I drew that well.
All right, you did. Continue.
Thank you, Big.
No, the ancient kingdom was actually at war with a group of about 20 kingdoms that came together
Right, that was
to
it.
fight that kingdom, which eventually those 20 kingdoms turned into the world government as we know it. Clover continues to give a little bit of information, and he's about to drop the name of the kingdom that they were at war with back in the day when one of the Elder Stars orders him to be shot. So
Oh,
Clover is very
yes.
quickly shot.
The best part was how Clover did it. He was like, hey, so, you fear your information of the ancient kingdom getting out. You fear their return. And if I'm guessing right, the name of that kingdom is Shoot Him Now.
And then he gets shot.
Yeah.
So we don't know the name of the kingdom, but we do know that there was some kingdom over 800 years ago that that a certain group, a group of kingdoms wanted to come together to defeat for unknown reasons. So after that, the Elder Stars give a speech about how it's sad to hear that that things have gotten so far, especially on an island like Ohara and blah blah blah, do fake sentiment and all that shit. They order a buster call. The buster call is enacted with a golden transponder snail that is brought out by Spondime. It's got a little button on it, and it sends a signal to a silver transponder snail back at headquarters, where there is an order that goes into play to basically say send 5 vice admirals and 10 battleships. That's the golden transponder snail. Remember it. It's important.
And
Because
this is the first time we really see what a Navy battleship is. What we've been seeing so far have been like transports and stuff.
they've been little.
These battleships dwarf like 5-story tall buildings. They are monster ships.
That is the fleet of battleships that are coming a call. They were actually stationed not far away just in case a buster call did need to be enacted. So there was very much an understanding that this was going to go down one way or the other. So they begin firing on the island. There are some escape ships that have been set up for the regular citizens, but the archaeologists are all told that they need to they're basically being condemned to death. The tree does get fired upon and starts catching on fire, but the archaeologists, instead of trying to escape, head to the tree in order to try and save as many books as they can. The way that they do this is by chucking it into the lake.
Better soggy than ashes.
Yep, better soggy than ashes. The lake itself it's just at the base of the tree. It's not as easy to see here. Is it in your overhead shot? No, it's no better. But there's a small lake where the roots are at the base of the tree, so they're chucking books into there. Robin initially comes trying to help and save people, and does actually get to see her mother, where Olvia needs to try to deny the fact that Nico Robin is her daughter in order to, keep her safe. Because, hey, guess what? If they find out that she's her daughter, that could be bad for Robin. And at the moment, they don't know that she's a scholar, so she has a very good chance of getting onto the escape ships.
Yeah.
There is a very tender, loving moment that will fucking destroy your heart if you actually watch it, where they hug and she's told that she needs to live and get off of the island as quickly as she can, because Olvia does break away from Spondime, and Spondime, when they start firing on the island, realizes that they don't care who's on the island at the moment, and just get the fuck out of there.
Yeah. By the way, are we not going to talk more about the moment, or are we going to leave that alone?
We're gonna leave it alone. It's sad. And it hurts.
Okay. Yeah. They get to watch it for themselves. It is a heart-wrenching moment.
It's a fucking rough flashback, man. And I'm not doing it justice at all, I'm sure.
Oh no. I was tempted to go more into detail, but we're moving on.
We're moving on. We got a lot to cover, and I want to try to get into Thriller Bark if we can.
Yeah.
But yeah, so eventually, Robin is told to just run by her mother. She's not willing to do so, but Saul shows up. Turns out that Saul helped Olvia initially escape the Marines, and now she is asking for Saul to save Robin and get her away from the island as quickly as she can. On their way to the escape ship, a very familiar attack happens, as we get to find out that among the vice admirals who are a part of this raid,
Buster call.
oh yes, part of this Buster call, one of them is actually a young Kuzan.
Remind me on Kuzan.
I'm
Who's
getting
on
a picture now.
Aokiji? Mr. Ice Admiral himself.
Our icy boy, back when he was just a vice admiral.
Yep, and he's notably a lot more hot-headed, funnily enough.
He's a little bit more hot-headed. He's
Yeah, he has very little patience, and doesn't like to be interrupted. Usually he's napping.
He's still very much into his own sense of justice. He doesn't believe in absolute justice and that kind of thing. And as it turns out, him and Saul were actually close friends. And he goes to try to stop Saul from getting away, not really knowing exactly what that Robin is a scholar at the moment, but it does eventually come out. During the time period of their arguing, when Robin has actually made it to the ship and is chased off essentially by some people on the ship itself, calling her a monster or saying that she might be a scholar too or whatever, so she doesn't get on. Right after, the ship is attacked by a cannonball.
Yep,
Sinking the entire thing.
killing everyone aboard.
Fuck.
Yep. As it turns out, one of the vice admirals that was that is also a part of this, a man by the name of Sakazuki, is
He's also one of the vice admirals, and he ordered it to be done because what if a scholar had gotten aboard? They can't take any chances, and would rather kill hundreds of human lives than risk one person escaping.
and that's
God, so like we're like, I mean, not of the same magnitude just by virtue of not the universe isn't the same scale, but like we're on Warhammer 40k, like nah, just fuck everybody up because of what if one.
Oh
We're
yeah,
that-
this,
we're
that's
not
his,
this level.
that's
Okay.
very much his mindset. He's a believer in absolute justice.
Yeah.
Which means that if any kind of evil gets away, then they have failed in they've failed in what they were sent here to do.
there is no means too great to see justice done, and no actions that should not be taken. Then, if killing every last scholar on this island is justice, then they need to make sure that every single scholar is killed, or else they have failed.
Which Aokiji very much does not believe in. Unfortunately, Aokiji does need to still do his job, and in the process of that, Saul needs to die too, because he is not only is he a deserter from the Marines at this point, but he has willingly started to work with a known criminal and helped her escape, which would be Nico Olvia. So he knows that he can't fight Aokiji. Aokiji's too powerful for him. Though we did previously get to see him go out to sea a little bit, lift up an entire battleship and throw it at another battleship. So
Yeah,
Saul's not weak by any means.
Oh yeah, no. In fact, even the other her people on the ships were like, wait, isn't that Vice Admiral Saul? No, I think I heard he ran away. Then what's he doing here? Why is he attacking us?
It's a fun little moment. But yeah, so unfortunately there is a very brief attempt to fight him, but it doesn't go for very long. Aokiji grabs onto Saul using his Ice Age, though at this time it goes a little bit slower, so we can have one final moment between a very distraught, crying Robin, who is now watching one of her few friends in the world die in front of her, as he's trying to laugh it off and tell her that, you know, she needs to go out to sea. That's where your friends are. You need to go out to sea and get away from here. And in his mind, as she is running away, is saying, someday you'll find friends who will never leave you. Someday you will find friends who will basically face the world for you. And as he's finished being frozen over, Robin does get away, but it's, you know, she's on a burning island at the moment. There's not exactly many ways to go. At least that's what we think, until she runs across Aokiji again, who is sitting on a stump nearby the ocean, where there is 2 lines of ice heading out to sea and a rowboat. Because of what he has seen, because of the fact that his friend was willing to give his life for her, Aokiji is letting Robin get away. She is the only survivor of the Ohara, which is an event basically dubbed the Devils of Ohara, because everyone believes that they were actually out to revive an ancient weapon in order to destroy the world or some bullshit. Whatever the government wanted to say, essentially. She is somewhat quickly found, at least visually. There's a picture taken of her on a passenger ship a good couple of miles away from Ohara, which is actually the picture for her wanted poster. At least her initial wanted poster, where they smack a 79 billion berry bounty on her ass.
A 6-year-old child.
On an 8-year-old child. We go through a much quicker time, montage of her life up until meeting the Straw Hats. She goes through a lot of homes trying to find a place where she can actually stay, but everywhere she goes, people are trying to turn her in for her bounty.
Trying to kill her because they think she's a devil child.
She ends up on a couple of different little pirate crews that are like, nah, we're wanted by the world government too. Don't you worry about it. We'll keep you protected. And they quickly learn that the world government is out for her ass harder than any other pirate or wanted person in the world, and try to abandon her as well, which eventually leads us to her meeting with Crocodile, where she spends a good couple of years until it's time for the Straw Hats. We cut back where she's explaining. It's hard to tell whether she was actually explaining this to everyone or if this was just going on in her mind, as she is saying that they can't fight a Buster Call. There's nothing that they can do to fight this. Spondum starts laughing his ass off, saying, yeah, this is what it is. This is the way that things are. We will do anything that we can to get her, and no matter what you do, you will always have a problem or some bullshit.
You'll fail.
You'll fail.
Your opposition is too great.
He points
We
to...
are the most powerful organization in the world.
He points
See
to
that
the
flag
little
up there?
All right, you
There.
do it. Fine.
Alright, sorry. See that flag up there? That is the flag of over 220 kingdoms. Every nation in the world bows to us. If you want... this is the might that you face. Hey, you want to try and save her? The world stands against you.
And she's very much taken that to heart. She doesn't believe that there's anyone who would be able to face it. We cut down to Luffy and the crew, them finally understanding the reason why she's so scared and why she's willing to do what she's doing. And Luffy knows what he needs to do next. He turns to Usopp, who he still believes is Sniper King, so he calls him Sniper King. He says, he gives the order, Sniper King, shoot down that flag. And in one of the most amazing moments in the entire show, that still gives me chills to this day, not mentioning what's going to happen right after this, no hesitation whatsoever, no blustering whatsoever, outside of introducing his new weapon, which he calls Kabuto, which is a 5-point massive slingshot.
Sling staff.
Well, yeah, sling staff. He draws back and shoots down the flag with a Firebird star without any hesitation. And no regret afterwards. This is the showing of not only just how tight this crew is, the fact that they are willing to declare war on the entire world for one member, but the fact that even one of their most scared members of the crew, who thinks he's the weakest of the crew, is willing to do so without hesitation. The entirety of the island is shocked because there are Marines and government workers who saw them do it from down in the city. Spondum is freaking out, initially yelling to them that you can't expect to take on the entire world and live, only to freak out when Luffy yells back, "Bring it on!" So he is full in on this. Robin is absolutely floored.
I love this. I love all of this. This is great.
She had initially been screaming how she just wants to die. She doesn't want to see them turn on her. She doesn't want to watch these people that have become actual friends for her believe that she is a burden, only to now see that the crew is willing to fight for her no matter what. And she can actually have, fuck, I'm tearing up. she
is allowed to. Sorry.
She's allowed to have her wish, and she gets to yell it out to them. She yells, "I want to live. Take me away from here. I want to go with you." In a sense, it's not exact wording, but it's a fucking powerful moment. And it's at that point that things are officially on. Now the rescue for Robin is going to happen no matter what, in the Straw Hat's eyes. So we get that whole setup, though there is a small problem in the fact that the drawbridge that connects between the Tower of Law and the courthouse is kind of damaged and it can't go down anymore. So Granny Kokoro, who had been listening into this entire conversation on a Denden Mushi that Nami has, says, "Hey, you guys need to jump into the waterfall." They're all confused except for Luffy, who hears the train coming because Kokoro starts blaring the whistle. He gets the most devious look on his face that he can possibly muster up, which is always great. Stretches his arms out across the entire crew and knocks them all into the ocean. So they're falling as that's happening. During that happening, where Spondum is now freaking out because he doesn't want them to come over here, Frankie has a bit of a reveal of his own. It turns out that he was hiding inside of his body the very blueprints that Spondum has been looking for this entire time. And he's taken them out. And in order to even prove that they are, he does a little flip of the pages in front of Kaku and Lucci, who had been working as shipwrights this entire time. Be like, "Hey, you guys can tell this is the real shit, right?" They of course freak out. They have a little bit of a freak out. Their eyes widen or they glare because, they're secret agents and they're like that. Spondum is trying to take the blueprints while Frankie continues to talk. He says, he's going to make a bet. He thinks that the Straw Hats can take Robin away from here and get her back out to sea out of his clutches. And in order to seal that bet, he burns the blueprints right in front of Spondum's face.
All of this was supposed to be an easy 1-2 victory. He grabbed the demon child, he'll get the blueprints, be loved by everyone, hero of the Navy, and it is all literally burning in front of him. The flag, the plans, everything.
Even Khalifa's like, we spent 5 years on our mission for this? So it's a nice little catharsis. Unfortunately for Frankie, Spondum is a vindictive motherfucker and immediately pushes him over the side of the balcony. He's falling into the waterfall now too. But it's okay because Rocket Man comes bursting out, knocks into the crew and Frankie, landing them all inside of the Tower of Law. So they're there. Everybody's alive. Everybody's okay. It's all good. And essentially, we are gonna start with our pairing off of opponents. So let me.
Okay, it's been an hour and a half. I'm gonna ask for a minute before you continue.
Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect.
Oh,
Naomi, you still there? You fell asleep.
Turtle.
I think she's down.
I mean, she responded just a couple of minutes ago.
I am here. I'm
There she is.
listening. I'm just also doing laundry.
Hey, similar.
I'm multitasking. Right now, I'm doing laundry, talking to another ASMRist about doing a music collab, and you know, I'm doing some jazz right now.
Yeah. And apparently, Klee got cookies.
Oh, very nice. This is the podcast. Like this, 5-6 hours that we do this is just like podcast
It's
time.
podcast
I just
time,
shut up
yeah.
and I listen to y'all,
Unless you
and I
have
just
questions.
do other shit. Zero questions. I'm just absorbing information. I was like, this is neat.
But yes, as
Woo.
Big and I can both attest how hard it has been to talk about this saga
We're not doing it
without
justice
tearing up.
whatsoever. Well, and it's just we can't do it justice in just an explanation. I mean,
Yeah, I tried to do my dramatic reading stuff, but even I can't come close to seeing it in motion, hearing it voice acted. It is, oh,
it's good. This is literally one of my favorite sagas, and I know I've said that multiple times, but this is one of the best sagas that One Piece has ever had. And
Robin's VA let her voice break
oh my
when
god,
she was calling for the Straw Hats to save her.
yeah, her VA did a fantastic job. Which in fact, I guess while we're waiting, I'll throw that into the chat for y'all to look at.
By the way, also while we're waiting, does anyone know how to fix the axle of a bike?
No clue.
Damn.
I'm sure YouTube knows.
I thought that YouTube knew, but that one didn't work, and it seems like it might be a different problem.
But yeah, why didn't it copy correctly?
Oh.
There you go. Give that a quick look. See, Turtle. While we're waiting for King to come back. I would love to play it on stream, but I already got bopped for. I kind of got bopped as I
What am I
expected.
looking at?
I got bopped
Oh,
for Sniper
God.
King. Yeah.
All right, give me a moment.
It was well worth the bop. I had to play the Sniper King song on stream. It had to happen.
King is
Hey-
my name.
Hey King, you got a mandatory 2-minute video to watch.
Huh?
I can't do what we just explained justice. You gotta watch that video and just fucking experience it.
Yep. tear your fucking heart out.
I would love to put it on screen, but I already got bopped for Sniper King song, so I don't want to risk that again.
They gave Sniper King his own fucking themes. song.
In English and Japanese.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Like, not a character theme. No. A whole ass theme song.
It's both.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes, but like a character theme is something everybody gets.
Yeah.
A anime theme song is a little bit of a different story.
By the way, my dog Mickey would like you all to know that he is very comfy right between my legs as I'm trying to wash dishes, making things very difficult for me.
As one does.
Yep. Fluffy old man.
Yeah, let me know when you guys are done with the video, and we'll continue.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, no, yeah, I want you to cry.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah,
you.
mandatory. Fuck you.
Where's the video?
It's in the group chat for the VC. Look, there's not a lot of times that I would do a required viewing, but this is one of them.
Yep. Oh, there's another one that will be coming up in the next saga.
Well, he'll both love and hate that one.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Hello.
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 How do you feel? Does it hurt?
Good. It hurts as it must.
She's so good.
Oh yeah, no, she fucking kills it.
Especially
The
since
hair
Turtle
on
is a
my arms,
V8.
like, oh my, the hair on my arms stood up. Ah.
It's especially potent for her because Turtle is a VA herself. She knows what every single whole bit of that inflection meant.
Hi.
I'm gonna get her name. Who's Robin's voice actress? Stephanie Young. She's very good. I love how every Funimation voice actor has voiced for the Pop Team Epic character, at least one of them.
I did not know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, they switch out the voice actors constantly.
Amazing.
I
Well, I
think
knew that they did that. I didn't know that every member of... Oh, wait, you said Funimation.
Funimation.
Okay, never mind. Okay, for some reason I thought you meant One Piece specifically. I was like, what?
Oh, definitely they would be in there.
Alright, yeah, that's pretty good.
It's
Hurts even
oh,
more when you saw the whole thing in motion with
You got
Robin's backstory.
He
It
gets
speaks
it.
to the soul.
It hits the soul. It hurts.
Also,
it
the
hurts.
arm came.
But yeah, this is basically a Buster Call is basically the One Piece equivalent of Exterminatus Order.
Yeah, that's what I've gathered, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, reasonably, she was terrified of that happening to her crew. But she don't need to worry no more.
She don't gotta worry no more. Now she know that they're here to fight for her no matter what. These are the people who will never leave her behind because they are her friends. They are family. And that is the entirety of the Straw Hat crew. They're fucking family. But yeah, so Straw Hats are now officially inside of the Tower of Law. They are starting to try to work on a plan while holding Luffy back from just running after Rob Lucci. With the CP9 agents, specifically Rob Lucci is with Spondum and Robin, because Spondum is now trying to get to the Gates of Justice as quickly as he can, knowing that the Straw Hats are here. He's worried and not worried. He doesn't feel like there really is a chance that the Straw Hats will get there, but just in case, they're gonna be making their way to the Gates of Justice.
And since he is the top priority in all situations, he has the strongest member of CP9 with him.
Lucci is specifically ordered to stay with him and protect him no matter what. Within the tower, we actually find Fukuro hanging out with the Straw Hats for a moment while they were trying to plan, and reveals to them that that all of the members of CP9 have a key to handcuffs. The reason for this is because, I mean, Robin's pretty fucking good at what she does. She's escaped from multiple organizations, the world government, a lot of shit for a long time. So the very fact that now that she does want to get away and doesn't seem like she is able to is kind of strange. Well, as it turns out, she's currently locked in Sea Prismstone handcuffs. So she can't use her powers, and also she's being slightly weakened. These are low potency handcuffs, so they're not going to make her...
She can still walk on her own.
Yeah, she can still walk and move on her own. She's just not able to use her powers, and she feels slightly weakened. So at the moment, she is completely at the mercy of Spondum and CP9. They say that they've all got a pair of a key to the handcuffs that are within the tower, and the only way that the Straw Hats are going to get that off is if they find the correct key. Initially, the Straw Hats are like, well, you can just get Robin first, and then we'll take care of that later. And then Fukuro's like, well, if you do that, I'm just going to throw my key in the ocean. So,
yep. And if it's my key, well then, tough shit.
So it becomes priority to basically have everybody but Luffy split up, go try to find the other members of CP9, gather all the keys so they can get the handcuffs off of Robin.
Yep. Luffy is given permission to just go after Rob Lucci, since they know he's not going to focus on anything else.
He was going to do that anyway, so there was no way in hell that they were going to be able to stop him. So it's just like, nah, this is probably the best. Just let him do that. We'll find the keys. So we have our split off, essentially. We follow Luffy for a little bit, as well as our tiny baby Chimney, Granny Kokoro's granddaughter. As it turns out, she ends up finding a secret passageway that not only gets her to the outside for one attempt, like the back half towards where the Gates of Justice are, but also she finds a way to where Spondum and Lucci are going, which is to a underwater tunnel that leads to the actual bridge leading to the Gates of Justice. Now, she's being sneaky, but Lucci knows that she's there. He didn't say anything about it.
His job is just to protect Spondum. A little kid ain't his job.
It's not his problem right now. And not only that, he wants the Straw Hats to catch up.
Yeah.
Because as we very quickly learn about him, he is a bit of a psycho. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit not good in the head.
So because his
I
orders
just
were
realized
specific...
I hadn't tabbed back in after the video, so I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, proper.
I haven't added anything new, so you're good. But yeah, so Lucci doesn't stop Chimney from getting away to tell them about the secret passageway and the door, because he wants Luffy to catch up. And he has also not been specifically ordered to stop anybody from following them. He was just ordered to keep Spondum safe. Spondum slightly changes the orders up a little bit, but not much. And we cut back to Chimney showing Luffy how to get down there. There is a massive iron door that is in the way that does require a key to get through, and which, you know, they don't exactly have. But then Luffy does something slightly off screen where we get a tease of Gear 3. As it turns out, he has created 2 gears at the moment. And I say at the moment because there will definitely be more.
And
We don't get
we
to see what it is at the moment, but it does take down a solid iron door in one hit.
like we're talking 2-3 feet thick.
It also has a little bit of a drawback on Luffy that we do get a very brief glimpse of. Let me see if I can get a picture of it. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep, I failed my job. Turn off the phosphorus.
Oh, no, it's bad. Shut up. Come on,
All right.
fandom, you suck.
Hold up. I found one. It's technically one from a little bit later, but
It's fine as long as it
Yeah.
as long as it only shows that.
yep, it only shows that.
No.
Oh wait! I found a better one.
Okay.
It's tiny, but it'll work for the stream.
Actually, that's perfect.
Yeah, that is perfect.
So he knocks down the door, and we don't get to see exactly what he does, but we do get to see the aftermath of him being very tiny.
Little boy.
He shrunk.
And
Why
his
he
voice
do the
kinda
shrink?
goes a little like this.
He's a little higher. Chimney and Gombe, the little rabbit, are freaked out by this, but they don't have time, so they run off to go try to tell the others about where the secret passage is for when they recover their keys, and they can get to work. Eventually, after about a minute, Luffy does spring back to his correct size, and he does take a little bit of a note of that, but continues running down the path to try to catch up with Lucci and Robin. Doesn't really think about Spondum ever. I don't think he ever does, actually. But anyway, he doesn't see Spondum as a threat. We cut back to the crew. Everybody has gone off in different directions to try to find their own CP9 member, and we get some pair-offs. I think I'm going to go ahead and start a new thing for this.
Yeah.
Whoop. That was the Alt key. I didn't mean to hold the Alt key. So in regards to the initial split-offs to everyone fighting, from CP9 we have Kaku and Zoro running against each other. Let's see if you could find just a picture of them pre the reveal of the Devil Fruit. That would be awesome.
Yes. Just like CP9 Kaku.
Yeah, facing off against Zoro.
Okay. Oh wait, only one. Only 2 cases in his name, not 3. That is post-reveal. I'll post this. Oh, wait. Actually, this one's a very good one. Kaku's a little bit small, but it definitely gets across the idea of their pairing very, very well.
Nami runs into Kumadori, where she actually very quickly steals his key, but is very much outmatched at the moment. So her plan is grab key, run. Which, don't blame her.
Yeah.
Zoro,
The name of that too, or nah?
Zoro and Kaku have paired off. Who are you gonna grab?
Nami versus. Oh, you already grabbed one.
I already did it.
Okay. The exact one I was gonna send you too.
Frankie ends up fighting against Fukuro.
All right. Let me know which ones you want me to grab an image of.
Can I copy this?
Oh, that's actually DeviantArt.
Or
Nice.
if I just copy the link, will that work? No. Okay.
You know, it's kind of funny. The only image I can find of one against the other is Frankie just decking Fukuro.
Yeah, I was trying to get the GIF, but it wasn't working properly.
Yeah.
So
Oh, well.
We'll just use this. Yeah, Frankie is up against Fukuro.
Yeah, Frankie's a bit of a tough guy. Okay, and I think that's the initial matchup.
Nope. Sanji pairs off against Caulifla.
Right.
Fucking thank you.
Oh, I'm glad you found one.
Yeah, I was already working on it.
Yeah, I was having no luck with that one.
So Sanji is up against Caulifla, and at the moment, Chopper is without an opponent at the moment. That will change. And Usopp runs into Jabra. Who, as previously mentioned, has the dog fruit model wolf. And now you're going to get to see what that looks like. Ta-da! Wolfman. Hey, babe.
So who are we starting with?
These are our current pairings. Well, everything happens all fucking... It gets moved around a lot.
Fair enough.
We can start with the quickest match, which is Sanji versus Caulifla, which initially starts out with them sharing tea and Caulifla acting very sexy. Not that it takes much when it comes to Sanji being the womanizer that he is. Initially blaming her for putting him under some kind of spell, and that's the reason why he ended up drinking tea with her for so long, when really she hadn't done shit. So it's not really a big deal. But we quickly learn that Sanji has an interesting quirk to him. See, Zeph didn't raise no improperly mannered boy. And that goes all the way down to never harming a woman. Sanji has a very strict code of conduct that no matter what the situation is, no matter whether this person is an enemy or not, he will not kick a woman. So we get a couple of instances where Sanji treats this more like a competition of trying to subdue Caulifla without actually hurting her. It does not go well.
Yeah.
In the fact that Caulifla is not here to play that kind of game. She's an assassin. She doesn't fucking care about your chivalry. So due to this, Sanji actually loses his fight against Caulifla.
Pretty hard.
Pretty hard. As previously stated, Nami has stolen the key from Kumadori and is running away. So she runs into Chopper, who does help out with the fight on that. And after they get away from Kumadori for a little bit, we get a very interesting sight that is knocked down from the very top of the Tower of Law. I wonder if we can even get an image of it. No, I'm probably gonna have to do this another way. There we go. Sanji falls from the very top of the tower, landing it beside Chopper and Nami, and looking like this.
Pretty safe to say he lost.
He lost hard. Also, it's very clear that Caulifla does in fact have a devil fruit power now.
Yeah.
As remember stated, they got some devil fruits from Spondum that went to Caulifla and to
Kaku.
Kaku. Now, it's not going to be revealed for a little bit, but essentially, her power is the bubble fruit, which allows her to basically produce bubbles. That can be used in a myriad of strange ways, but it's mostly for cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
And not just cleaning up...
Cleaning Sanji's ass.
Cleaning Sanji's ass and cleaning his curves, as you can tell. Because he's looking like a doll boy right there. Beat to hell, doll boy. It is a paramecia type fruit, and it turns the user into a soap human. So, it's definitely one of those powers that initially you would just be like, this has got to be one of the most useless powers ever, but she uses it pretty effectively.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, she's a trained assassin, so it's not too surprising. Meanwhile,
Expect that to happen a lot.
we jump to Zoro and Kaku, who are currently in the middle of a fight. Turns out, as Zoro, that Kaku is actually a swordsman as well, though he doesn't just practice 2-sword style or 3-sword style, he practices 4-sword style. And that doesn't mean he's holding 4 blades. It's because he uses 2 blades in his hands, and his legs, using the Tempest Kick ability, act as 2 more blades.
And Zoro's not happy about this one. He's like, at that point, why even call yourself a swordsman? You're using your legs.
He does admit that, the guy's entire body is pretty much a weapon, so it's, he should have been more aware of something like this happening in the first place. So their fight is starting to happen. As it turns out, in the room literally above, where Usopp and Jabra are, when Usopp initially comes in, Jabra is sleeping on the ground inside of this fucking Zen garden looking room that's full of different kinds of animals and shit. We get some fun instances where Usopp is trying to be quiet because Jabra left his key out on the ground and is just sleeping away. So he's trying to sneak in there to get it, but things in the room are getting in the way. We have an instance where a bee lands on his nose and has the full intent of stinging his nose, which causes it to expand, and he has to silently agonize. Backing him up, there's another instance where he's trying to get close, but his heart's starting to fucking go insane, and it's beating like crazy, and he tells it to shut up, and it stops.
Guy literally accidentally stopped his own heart. He's like, no, wait, keep beating.
And he's able to get his heart going again, silently. And then finally, he's getting close when a rooster shows up. The most loud, obnoxious animal in the world. And he's begging inside of his head, don't crow. Please don't crow. Anything in the world I'll give you if you just don't crow. And then it chirps. It doesn't crow. It just chirps. And Usopp finally blows his cover by yelling, crows don't... oh, sorry, rooster. It's a fucking rooster. Roosters don't chirp. And wakes up Jabra, who immediately decks him in the face. And as Usopp is falling out, he is cursing the rooster's existence. So that was a fun little thing. After Jabra reveals his man-beast form, which is that little image right there, the ceiling starts to give in for some reason. Back with Zoro and Kaku, Kaku reveals that he has become a devil fruit user in the time period and has started to activate it.
Oh, this devil fruit.
What falls through the ceiling? If we can get a lovely image of that, please, dear God, give me that image. Damn it. Wait, maybe? No. Okay. What falls through the ceiling is Zoro and Alright, fine, fuck it. Is Zoro and a giraffe. In Kaku's clothes. As it turns out, Kaku has eaten the ox fruit modeled giraffe. So he is now a giraffe human. His man beast form.
My god, I just found it. Hold up.
Is it them falling through the ceiling?
Yes, it is them falling through the ceiling.
Okay, cool.
Come on. Ugh. Copy it. Wait. There we go. Okay, sending it.
There we go. This falls through the ceiling. Got Zoro up there, whole ass giraffe.
Whole ass giraffe.
Turns out,
Giraffe.
it turns out a good portion of CP9 are fucking Zoan Devil Fruit users. So Zoro, upon seeing the Wolfman, makes the comment of, "What is this? A fucking zoo?" But his man beast form is it's fun. Let me get you a nice little image of that. It's so fucking amazing that it actually throws off Zoro for a small moment. There you go.
Hybrid form, giraffe and man.
Square giraffe. It's incredible in every sense of the word. To the point where even Zoro gets thrown off to where he actually yells out, "Whoa, that's fucking lame." Now, he's still a CP9 member, and while he doesn't have the best control of his powers at the moment, since he literally just got them, which is the reason why he was falling through the ceiling as a full giraffe. He was intending to go to his man beast form during the fight upstairs. He's still a member of CP9. He's still a threat. And he quickly proves that after being made fun of by everyone in the room, Usopp, Zoro, and Jabra, who...
Especially Jabra.
They don't like each other very much. He gets pissed, goes onto one hand, starts spinning around, and using the Tempest Kick to literally cut the Tower of Law in half.
Note, he did not mean for that to happen, but turns out having drastically
And
longer
neck.
legs and
And
neck has increased his range and power dramatically.
Something that Zoro does know.
Now, initially it was a more subtle shift, but as you can kind of see in that image, the sky is fully open. As the arc goes on, the tower is shifting more and more.
Yes. It is slowly starting to fall off the top. It is a constant thing. This is the Sky Slicer that he performs after spinning around a lot. Then during that initial exchange afterwards, Usopp, who has made his way outside of the room, finds off to the side a little cubby hole that happens to hold 3 Sea Prism Stone handcuffs. Now, his plan is pretty smart. Why not cuff the Devil Fruit users in order to weaken them to make this fight a little bit easier? Unfortunately, the transformation that Kaku takes to his man beast form throws off his aim, and he accidentally ends up cuffing Zoro with one cuff, which, it's not too much of a problem until Zoro's got to save his ass from the Sky Slicer by tackling him to the ground, where Usopp gets cuffed in the other cuff. So they're kind of stuck together.
And Zoro can no longer use his 3-sword technique.
Yeah, and he's also got a whole human body that's kind of holding back one of his arms. Now, you may be asking, why doesn't he just cut off the cuffs? This motherfucker cut a whole train in half. Well, it's because Sea Prism Stone's actually a hell of a lot stronger than even Diamond. So you can't slice it.
So far in the series, it has yet to be broken.
Even Mihawk the most powerful swordsman in the world cannot slice through sea prism stone.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a problem. Thankfully, Chopper does come by a little bit before that and before running into Nami. And well, initially we have a moment of Jabra and Kaku actually coming to an agreement on something where they both pull out their keys and they're like, "Hey, what's the number on your handcuffs?" And they're like, "I think it was the number 2, or was it 4?" It was 2. Or 4. Essentially,
Yeah, it was 1.
they don't have the key to the handcuffs. They were gonna give the key over because, you know, it's no fun to fight an opponents who have been, you know, latched to each other like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, they don't got the key, so they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
well, fuck it."
And very specifically, Jabra did not want to share his prey with Kaku.
Yes.
Usopp was his kill.
So yeah, that's a whole thing that's going on. Chopper does eventually show up, and they tell him to go try to find the number 2 key in order for them to get unlocked. So Chopper's now mission is to try to find the correct key, not only for Robin, but also for Zoro and Usopp. So that's a whole deal. That's
You were
going
about
on.
to say Sanji, weren't you?
I was. Shut up.
Look, the two just go together.
They do. They are the. You can't have one without the other.
Yep.
Not at the moment, no.
Well, we were talking about Zoro.
Yeah,
and
now
Sanji.
Zoro and Usopp right now.
Now it's Zoro and Usopp. We do get some fun antics with them, including at one point Zoro making Usopp hold on to one of his swords, specifically the Yubishiri, and wielding him as a sword named Nose Storm. He gives Usopp a sword name. And occasionally uses him as bait.
Yep.
To try to coax their enemies into attacking Usopp by holding him up and shaking him around so he can attack as soon as they try to attack Usopp. It's a
This
whole
almost worked.
it actually almost works like 2 or 3 times. There's also a couple instances where they almost get Kaku and Jabra to fight each other, but unfortunately Zoro ends up screwing up those moments because, you know, he doesn't really care. Mostly because he knows that while it may work for a moment, it's not gonna do enough for them to actually get the advantage. But yeah, we'll leave them alone for now. As we cut back to Sanji, who has been found Meanwhile, Sanji has been found by Nami and Chopper, who have gotten away from Kumadori for the moment, so it's not too big of a deal. Nami calls Sanji an idiot for letting himself be beat by Caulifla, because it's very clear that he could have easily defeated her. But, you know, he let his chivalry get in the way. She does, however, say that she likes that idiot side about him. So, sort of a win in Sanji's book. But now it is actually Nami versus Caulifla instead. So she's gone up to try to get the key, while Sanji has been left on the ground because whatever she did to him is not reversing anytime soon. So he's out of the fight for the moment. Kumadori
can't even move.
Yeah. Kumadori does show back up and chases after, or is attacked by Chopper, and Chopper leads him away. Chopper has already used one of his rumble balls because only his arm point is strong enough to break through the iron body technique. So he's kind of had to already resort to using that. Meanwhile, Frankie is actually trying to get to the kitchen before his fight with Fukuro, which Fukuro does show up, but it's because he's used a lot of cola today. Not only what on the fight on the train, but that coup de vent that he used where he farted Robin over to the balcony, has used up too much cola. His pompadour's fallen down. He needs to go and get some more cola.
He's not feeling so super right now.
He's not feeling super. So his goal is to get to the kitchen. Fukuro shows up. We have a little bit of a bout where Fukuro finds out that, you know, this guy's a little bit of a freak because, well, his power is not at full. He can still do some decent damage to Fukuro. But we get a fun little instance where Chopper tricks Kumadori into the refrigerator that has
It's
a
a
lock.
big one. Yeah.
It's a big refrigerator. You could easily fit a body or two in there. But it's got a lock on it. So because Kumadori is very much into his Japanese acting style, he's very slow at delivering his lines. So it's pretty easy to just lock him in there.
Yeah, literally, Chopper shoves him in, and he's like, "Oh, you think that you can defeat me by locking me in?"
But unfortunately, that's also where the cola is. So Frankie needs the cola. Initially, Chopper is against him because he's mad about the whole thing that happened with Usopp. Him yelling at Chopper, going, "We're bros now. Fuck off. Get me some cola." And we get a lovely little instance of Frankie not getting what he needs immediately. But the first one was vegetable juice, which makes him act very calm and cool, like a farmer.
Oh, yep.
Oh no, that was the tea.
No, wait.
That was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
tea.
What was vegetable juice?
It just kind of made him act funny.
Yeah.
Essentially, if they put anything other than cola in there, his personality changes.
Yep. Put some tea in. Put some relaxing tea in him. Oh man, it's a rough day after a good day on the field. Nice to relax with a towel over her shoulder.
And his hairstyle changes. It's all a time.
Yep.
But eventually, after Chopper realizes that Frankie is the funniest person to ever exist, does get him the cola that he requests. He's super now. He's ready to go, and he fucking decks the shit out of Fukuro, and their fight starts in earnest. I think theirs is the fight that ends first, actually.
Yes, because once Frankie gets super, Fukuro just stands no chance.
Yeah. Like there's a little bit of a fight, and including where it breaks out over the actual waterfall, and there's some instances where they're trying to keep themselves from falling in, but ultimately it ends with Fukuro getting his ass handed to him. They claim the key, and everything seems to be good. Frankie's working his way back up the side of the tower so he can go to the kitchen, but something's going on in there. Unsurprisingly, for a assassin, locking someone in a fridge it doesn't really hold on to you that long. So Kumadori does eventually break his way out. A fight breaks out between him and Chopper. Chopper initially, huh?
I was gonna say we get an initial instance of just general weird powers that exist in the One Piece universe without being devil fruits.
Yeah.
Because turns out for some reason Kumadori ate all the food in the fridge, but he can instantly digest it.
He got really fat, but he was able to use this technique called life return, which is not one of the 6 powers, despite what anybody says, which allows him to quickly digest and redistribute the consumed food, turning himself back to normal. Chopper, fascinated by this, gets him to do it like 3 or 4 times, which expends a lot of energy.
The thing is, he's not even doing it as like a tactic. He's just like, I'm a doctor. This is fucking fascinating.
He is
What
genuinely
the fuck
curious.
are you doing with your body?
So that's a fun little accidental tactic that he has going on. But then the official fight breaks out. Chopper very quickly learns that he is out of his league in this fight.
Even with an exhausted Kumadori.
Even with him being somewhat exhausted, he's got to resort to using another Rumble Ball, which, as it turns out, when he uses a second Rumble Ball within too short of a time period from using the first, it doesn't work very well. He's not able to truly control his transformations anymore, and will randomly get different transformations. He knows he needs to get to Arm Point, and he's trying to get there so he can, end this fight with his most powerful attack, but he keeps switching into the wrong one, and Kumadori beats the shit out of him. eventually, he does get to arm point and lands what he thought would be the finishing blow on Kumadori. Unfortunately, that's not true.
Yep, emphasis on thought.
And Chopper is lamenting the fact that he has to even do this because it's literally a waste of time at this point because Kumadori does not have a key. There's no reason for this fight to be even happening right now because there's no benefit to it. Because Nami had already stolen his key before their fight even started. So he feels like he's wasting a lot of time by doing this and has to resort to something that he swore he would never do again. Now, our little boy, we lost Turtle.
Turtle!
Alright, we paused for a few minutes.
God damn it!
Ah, right at the
Okay.
dramatic point.
What an apex for us to lose her.
Couldn't have done it during the fucking life return moment. Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know if Big mentioned this before before I joined, but another one of Kumadori's powers is the ability to control his hair.
I didn't bring it up, but yeah, he can use life return to control his hair and use it as a weapon.
Yep.
Which one's Kumadori again?
The guy that Chopper's fighting, over there was Nami.
Mhm. With the hair, lots
hair.
and lots and lots of hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big hair dude.
His whole thing is that he's pretty much cosplaying as a kabuki theater player.
That's the fucking name. Thank you.
You're welcome. I wanted to bring it up earlier when you said it, but
I
it
wish
was
you
going
had.
by too fast.
I wish you had. I wish you'd have just said yeah.
Sorry, you were like, hey, Japanese theater performance. Anyways, we're going. And I was like, oh, okay. We had
mean-
momentum. I didn't want to interrupt the momentum.
Ultimately, Kumadori doesn't really matter in the long run.
Yeah. Quite literally, all of his only relevance is from what got interrupted.
Yeah.
Alright, so, little thing. You'll appreciate this, Big.
Oh yeah.
I am currently in, I'm currently in the Forbidden Reach, tooling around, and I'm just waiting here next to the spider for other people to come down and fight it with me.
Spider.
Lava spider.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Goldu. Have fun with him.
I'm at 22 of the vault keys, by the way.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus!
You're gonna help me get some too, right? Because I need to finish opening.
Yeah, well.
Dang.
I've opened the first 2 floors.
I'm waiting to get 30 keys and then going in and opening everything.
I've
I think it
opened
might-
the entirety of the second floor, none of the first floor.
Right.
I do not have access to the third or fourth floor.
Are you sure it's 30?
That's what
Oh
people
no,
were
that was
telling me.
just my estimate because
Okay.
I was like, okay, so there was a ring of 8 around the second, and it looked like it was the same pattern repeating. However, the first floor broke the pattern with 5, so that would be 24 plus 5 for a total of 9.
Yeah.
29, yeah. Somebody else in chat also said you need about 20, you need about 30. So I figured I'd just keep grinding. Plus, main reason I'm doing this isn't the keys to the vaults. Like, at the moment I'm doing this because I want, you know,
You want the map?
the item, the gear that drops, so I can
Gotcha.
start doing. So I can start
Yeah.
doing like.
'Cause
'Cause actually, if
we're
I
gonna-
check,
We're gonna go in the hole.
Gonna go
Yeah.
in the hole.
we're gonna do dungeons in the old content. We're gonna do
Oh.
we're
We're going to
dungeons.
do current content dungeons.
We're gonna do drugs.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Oh wait, what did I jump in at the wrong time?
Yeah. Always.
Always, dude. Always. God, what are you doing?
Well, we still need Turtle and Riley to catch up before we can run the new dungeon.
Yeah.
Riley's expansion sub is apparently gonna expire soon. Meta did give her 2 months, but she's not gonna pay for her own re-up until she's got a job again. She's waiting to see what happens there.
Miss Moneybags isn't willing to spend more money. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you text Turtle really quick? See what she's up to.
Yeah.
Figure something must have happened. Because if
Alright.
it was just her internet, she probably would have popped back in by now. Well,
I also
God.
don't know how to open. I also don't know how to open the vaults. So like,
You have to do a little storyline, starting with the green direct here. Hi, Turtle.
she's not. Is she in
She's
chat?
in the chat. Yeah.
Okay.
What's up? Is everything good, or are you gonna be hanging in the chat for now? Had to dip from the call. Okay, so she's gonna be hanging in the chat.
Alright. I'll be back in 1 sec.
Okay. Man, the random Elden Ring boss versus 50 weird things or whatever videos are always fun.
Yeah, because it's entertaining. Like
It is. Like this one that I see. Can any boss survive 50 abnormal stone clusters?
I don't know, can it?
I don't know. It's a 24
I
minute
must
video. I'm
know.
not starting it now. What was that, Ben?
Hmm?
I heard something.
What you hear exactly?
It was
Sounded like-
a suspicious something.
A suspiciously an Elden Ring sound.
Oh no, I'm not in Elden Ring. I'm in Breath of the Wild.
Ah, okay.
So I don't know what you heard.
I don't know. Next week. Literally, it's what, 6 days from now?
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom.
6
So I have
days.
to speed run this game.
I'm ready.
Technically
I'm
5
ready,
days for me, since I get to attend a Thursday 10 p.m. release, since they don't do midnight releases anymore over here.
Oh, well. You like to play it too? No.
My Switch already.
I'll still
downloaded
get to
it.
play it earlier than you.
Oh yeah, you'll get it earlier.
I'm on digital, so it'll be out
Yeah.
at 12. And I will definitely be playing it. I don't think I'm going to be streaming it because I'm just going to be spending my own fun time with it. So there you go. Anybody who was wondering if I'll play Tears of the Kingdom on stream, the answer is no. Sorry.
I don't know how to do that, and I don't want to go through the logistics of it. So
What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know how to set
logistics.
it up. Yeah, the
Have you not-
logistics.
You've captured your... Have you not captured your game before? What were you playing Dragon Quest on?
Oh no, I captured my Xbox, which has compatibility. On Switch, I don't know how to do that.
Ah, yeah, I have a capture card.
Yeah, those are expensive.
Sometimes. I think mine was like $70.
GameStop sells one, which is good quality and cheap, but they're always sold out. So
Eh.
a question: how much stamina do I need to get the big horse?
I don't remember.
I want big horse. He's a honker.
He's a honker.
Which divine beast area are you supposed to go to first?
Yes.
Okay, good. My niece told me like,
Sweet.
my niece was like, "What are you doing in the desert? That's the hardest area."
I
I'm
mean,
like,
out of
what?
all of them, that is the most difficult divine beast, but it doesn't mean you can't do it first.
Well, I should have known something when the enemies were one-shotting me, but I'm too stubborn, and
I mean,
Dark
the enemies will
Souls
one-shot
in
you
this-
anywhere if you don't have enough hearts or armor.
Yep.
So, again, that's not really conducive to just where you are, just more the fact that you're not properly set up to survive anything right now. Yeah, 4 hearts.
I actually have 5.
Oh.
And I just got a stamina container just now.
Oh, is that why you're hanging out in chat, Turtle? Because you gotta set up your entire mic?
But yeah,
She's gonna be coming back on an XLR. She's gonna sound juicier than all of us.
does that glitch still work where if you have a
By the
bunch
way,
of yellow
I actually
hearts-
gotta go right now. Oh,
No!
things are happening. Mom's returning from vacation. Gotta get into deep cleaning mode.
No!
Oh, no.
Okay. Have fun.
Yeah, that counts as interruption. Bye.
Bye. Well, you have fun on your trip to Walmart. We're waiting for King to get back. He said 1 second, and it's been about a full minute.
Wait, but I was gonna ask, does that glitch still work where if you have a bunch of yellow hearts, you can just like brute force the Master Sword?
It's supposed to ignore it.
Well, before it didn't.
I have no idea. Hi,
I'm back.
welcome back. We lost Taylor.
Riley just finished the Azure Span. So,
All right.
that's cool.
Yeah. So we will be continuing. Turtle is on her way to Walmart, so she will be hanging out in the chat. Then she has a thing to set up.
Okay.
Tamer has cleaning to do, so he probably won't be back. And Ben's still here.
Yeah.
Hey, Ben, thanks for subscribing to WoW. You got me. I got a pet as a result.
Oh, do I get it?
No.
Oh, fuck you.
Anyway, where were we?
It's my reward
yes.
for recruiting you. Your reward was the bag.
The bag sucks.
Anyway, Chopper is down to his last resort. As we have previously established, he is a sciencey little boy and likes to experiment with stuff. The whole reason why his extra transformations exist is because he had developed and studied the Rumble Ball in order to unlock them. And as it turns out, if he takes not just a second one, but a third one, really fucks something up when that happens. We get a very brief flashback to him waking up in a bed back on Drum Island with a very angry Dr. Gareha saying that she doesn't know what the hell he was doing, but whatever that transformation that he became was nothing more than a monster. Chopper has no recollection of exactly what happened, but he has made the promise that he will never do something like that again. Unfortunately now, in order to end the fight, he doesn't have a choice. So with a mental apology to his friends, saying that they need to run, he won't be able to establish friend from foe once he does this, he takes a third Rumble Ball and he transforms. He specifically transforms into this.
Oh, right, this thing.
This thing. This is Monster Point. It is Chopper's most powerful form. The unfortunate drawbacks are he has no control over himself. He is purely acting on instinct now. And if something is in front of him, he will destroy it. As our boy finds out right there, as he immediately destroys the CP9 agent, and upon defeating him and busting out the other side of the wall in Frankie's view, literally just chucks his ass over into the city. Like, he just fucking tosses him like a fucking sack of potatoes. So that's another one down.
So is Frankie dead?
No, Frankie's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Frankie does get a little bit of a smack from Chopper, but he's able to recover, trying to figure out what the hell's going on with them. Chopper has started to climb the outside of the tower, up towards where the slice is. That he's essentially, for some reason, just climbing the tower. We don't know why. He's purely acting on instinct now. The last drawback that does seem to happen is something that, as he starts running across more and more of his friends who take a second to recognize who he is, it's very clear that he is in a lot of pain. The form is breathing heavy. It's sluggish but powerful, but it's very clear that whatever this transformation is, it is hurting him more than he is hurting others around him, in a sense. And to put in perspective, this is technically the first time we ever see a devil fruit awakening. Because that's what Chopper has essentially done. He accidentally his way into an awakening that he can't control. So yeah. The first Straw Hat to awaken their devil fruit was Chopper all along. Yeah, so that's 2 keys got. We don't got to worry about that. So we're gonna cut back to the fight between Nami and Caulifla. When Nami actually gets into the room with Caulifla, she is met with a large amount of bubbles that are on the floor, and Caulifla actually taking a bath in the middle of the room. She's essentially got a massive bathtub just in the middle of this room, and looking very confident, like she doesn't have to worry about Nami whatsoever. And when Nami goes in, for some reason, her strength disappears, and she just falls straight to the ground. As it turns out, Caulifla's bubbles not only sap away dirt, they also sap away your strength if they touch you. So, these bubbles are very useful. We get a bit of a fan service fight that goes on for a good little while, eventually leading into Nami getting turned to look a lot like Sanji does, but at a certain point, Monster Chopper breaks into the room, essentially confusing Caulifla for a moment, making her think that Chopper was actually Nami because of a whole thing that she had been doing, using her climb attack to oh fuck, I forgot. This is why this is bad when you break it into 2 parts. Usopp, before abandoning the crew, had actually upgraded Nami's climb attack with dials. So now it's a much more powerful and can create clouds and shit a lot faster using breath dials that we put in and heat dials and all that. So yeah, there was a fun little thing back then of it being Usopp's last invention. They get her and Chopper and Luffy got all sad for a moment and then got yelled at by Zoro.
Hold on a second.
My throat.
I got the new boots.
Woo!
I got the good boots.
Yeah.
But you got the boots from the raid?
No.
Or something new?
No. But like, the best boots you could have going into the raid, just about.
Yeah.
They need to be upgraded, but yeah.
Apparently Turtle is getting food.
I have food. That's why I took that's why I asked to step away for a few minutes.
I know. Anyway, so yeah, their fight eventually pans out with Nami winning by using her. Oh, I guess not. But Nami using her new climb attack to use an ability called Thunder Lance Tempo. Thunderland's tempo being where she creates a very tiny thundercloud, and moving behind her opponent, she creates a electric ball at the end of the climb attack. And when the cloud releases its thunderbolt, it creates a direct line to her climb attack, going through, basically piercing through anybody who happens to be in the way. So Caulifla gets a nice little full-on cooking as she gets zapped from the inside out, and she's defeated. Where Chopper has moved on past their fight and is currently almost up to where Zoro and Usopp are. Frankie shows up underneath and starts talking with Nami to essentially make a plan on what to do with Chopper, because killing him is not an option. That's not in even anywhere close to the books of how this is going to go. Meanwhile, back down in the tunnel, Luffy has caught up with Lucci in a storeroom in one of the columns of the bridge that lead to the Gates of Justice. And essentially, Lucci is stopped there to stall out Luffy in order to, keep him from getting Robin back and also to fight. So they're currently clashing. The fight is much closer now rather than before, where Luffy was basically one-shot by Lucci. So they're having at it at the moment. Back with Zoro and Usopp, Chopper has shown up, freaking out everyone in the room, though Usopp does quickly realize that it is Chopper. Initially, Zoro doesn't quite believe it, but then after looking a little closer, he does agree that it is definitely Chopper, and they need to figure out what to do. Frankie shows up and starts prepping a coup de vent to blast Chopper. Initially, they try to stop him, but he says, "Shut up, we have a plan." And Frankie uses coup de vent to blast Chopper out of the tower and into the water below, which is used to reverse the transformation, because every Devil Fruit user has a problem with water. Frankie jumps back in to go, jumps into the water to go save him, to keep him from going over the waterfall. So yay, that's taken care of. Nami has also arrived, initially calming down Zoro and Usopp about the fact that, Frankie had just attacked one of their friends, and tosses them to Key to finally get unattached to each other. So that cuffs off. And thus the fights start proper. At least between... Oh. Huh? What?
Oh, this was just foreplay. Got it.
Yeah, essentially. It was, Alright. I've been hydrating, I promise. The full fight between Zoro, Usopp, Kaku, and Jabra has pretty much been like a little bit comic relief up to this point. I plan to have some honey milk after this. Don't you worry, Turtle. So yeah, now the fights can actually start. Kaku and Zoro start going to combat with each other. Unfortunately, Usopp is not a very good matchup for Jabra, to the point where there's actually a very good chance that he could end up dead. Thankfully, before that could possibly happen, Sanji, who has now reverted back to normal thanks to a bathtub that was tossed out into the middle of the fucking stairway by a monster chopper landing nearby, therefore washing away what Khalifa did to him. Yeah, that's the thing that happened. Shows up, kicks Jabra in the face, and takes over the fight from there, telling Usopp, hey, yeah, you may not be the strongest member of the crew or whatever, but you know what? You can do shit that we can't. Focus on that. Usopp takes a minute, but he actually does realize exactly what he can do to help out the crew in this situation, and he grabs Nami and they run off to go start taking care of that. Our fights break out proper between Jabra, Sanji, Kaku, and yay, golf claps, and Zoro. So we'll focus on Jabra and Sanji first because that is the fight that will end the fastest out of the two. Jabra has a bit of a lying wolf motif that he goes for, trying to trick Sanji into believing that like Robin is his long lost sister and he's actually here to help, trying to give over the giving over the key and all that kind of shit. But it was really just try to put him into a false sense of security. It does not work, of course, because Sanji's not that dumb. And as the fight breaks out, it turns out that Luffy is not the only one who has new abilities to fucking pull out of their ass. As Sanji reveals his new technique, in which he starts to basically spin around himself so fucking fast that he is able to ignite his leg on fire. It is a technique that he calls the Diable Jamba. Essentially, he uses the friction built up from spinning around one of his legs so much that it fully heats up that leg to the point where his attacks are basically fire attacks now. This is a tiny bit of a spoiler image, but it's not really a big deal. But yeah.
Oh my.
Yes.
That looks very painful.
Surprisingly, he doesn't seem to mind it. Jabra, on the other hand, yeah, definitely has a bad time.
What is it called again?
Diable Jamba.
Okay.
Basically, devil leg.
I think that means double leg.
Yeah. He gives a nice line of, God may have created food, but it's the devil who made spice. And that's his explanation for the leg, essentially. So yeah, that fight ends out the way that it does, which is great, and it's a good old fucking time. And we cut back to the final fight of everyone except for the two leaders of the groups, because Zoro is still having a little bit of a time. Luffy is still having a time. Frankie has actually gone ahead with what keys that they have recovered down the hallway where Chimney showed them the way to go. And he does end up in the same room as the fight, but Luffy is able to distract Lucci enough so that he can slip by so he can go after Robin to try to, use what keys they have to unlock her. In that time period, we actually get a lot of abuse for Robin, where she is trying to get away from Spondum. In that time period, though, a thing happens. Spondum is trying to give out orders with the Den Mushi he pulled out of his pocket. And he pushes a button on it. It's the golden transponder snail.
Oh no!
This motherfucker just called a buster call on Any's lobby. So
Oh,
we got
shit.
that coming too. So the entirety of the Marines and world government agents are freaking out, trying to get off of the island by going back to the sea train as quickly as they can. Unfortunately, Galila and the Frankie family have been tied up because they eventually did get captured along with the giants. So they're kind of stuck for the moment. Though it does turn out that Paulie, the rope guy from last time, was faking being tied up by using his own ropes. So he is able to get them out, and they start to try to make their way off of the island, what with the buster call coming. So that's a whole thing that's happening on top of everything else. Back with Kaku and Zoro, we have one of the most kick-ass fights that we've had in a long time, even if one of them is a comedic giraffe. Resulting in, of course, Zoro eventually winning out and performing an ability that has confused many a people to this day in the best way possible. He creates the 9-sword style. And now, before you start getting pissed, it is not entirely what you think. But this is known as the Ashura techniques. And the nine sword style in and of itself, essentially, it creates an illusion on Zoro for his opponents, where it seems his intent to kill and his battle aura becomes so fucking fierce that he seems to grow 2 extra arms and 2 extra heads, essentially making him look like an Ashura, you know.
Make him look like a Zero from the Indian legend?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Ashura, isn't it?
No, it says Zero. Like a Zero's Wrath, you know?
Are you sure it's not Ashura?
Yeah.
That's how they pronounce it in the show, in Japanese and in English. Either way, he takes on that kind of silhouette. He slashes another Sky Slicer from Kaku and is able to win the day. After a very long fight between the 2 second most powerful members of both groups. And again, this isn't him literally growing extra arms. It's just basically the opponent hallucinating that he has become this deity of destruction, essentially. I had to loosen up some fucking snot. So, all keys claimed. All members except for Lucci have been taken down. All that's left to do is take down Lucci, save Robin, and they gotta get the fuck out of there because there's a buster call coming. So the others start to try to get set up for that. Frankie has made it to the top of the tower where he can get to Robin, but it turns out that Spondum actually set up a bomb at the top of the staircase just in case something might have gotten past Lucci. He didn't really believe it would happen, but he did it just in case. Frankie is blown out into the ocean, but he is okay because, you know, he's half metal and therefore is able to easily survive the explosion and get back up there. Robin is still doing her best not to be taken away, even to the point where she basically grabs onto the side of the bridge with her fucking teeth. As Spondum is, you know, telling her that she's worthless and she shouldn't even exist and, you know, being an absolute bastard. Thankfully, Frankie is able to survive, gets up there, fucking decks Spondum in the face, knocking him back, and also scaring the shit out of Funkfried, who he is attempted to be used against Frankie by not only catching the blade nose, but also threatening to just fucking put a cannonball in his face, and tells him to turn back into a sword and stay that way, or else he'll, you know, kill him, which works. Funkfried does not turn back into an elephant throughout the rest of this arc. Meanwhile, behind them, the gates of justice are opening, which is not good, but they're not just like cracked open a little bit to allow for someone to walk through. They are fully open. And the reason for this, of course, is because the closest place that the Buster Call could come from is Navy HQ. So they're coming in through the special current in order to, you know, commence the Buster Call. They're maybe about, at this moment, 10, 15 minutes away. So things have got to start picking up. Now, it's unfortunately the keys that Frankie brought with him are not working on Robin's cuffs. So unfortunately, she still is handcuffed, and a lot of the Marines who are on the ship that was going to be taking them to Navy HQ have come up to try to start to recapture the 2 who had gotten away. That is until some of them start getting shot down. Off in the distance, atop the sliced Tower of Law, we have a theme song playing. Usopp being the fucking monster sniper that he is, and using a weapon that is enhanced by dials, is literally sniping down the Marines from a position that they cannot reach with their guns. He is able to outrange them.
Let's go! Oh, stop!
Not only that, but he's also able to launch over the last 2 keys that they had sent. She played the take aim animation, or sound clip. But yeah, he was able to shoot over the other 2 keys that they acquired. So now they have all the keys. After going through a couple, Robin is free. She's free. No longer cuffed. She's able to immediately take her revenge. Which she does by using her flower fruit powers to spawn a couple of arms on top of Spondum and slaps the shit out of him for a good minute and a half of animation. It is amazing. It is cathartic. It is everything this man has deserved ever since we have met him. And
long before we met him, in point of fact.
Ever since is what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I mean by ever since. We actually meet him first in the flashback. But yeah, so she's free. Everything's looking on the up and up. The others are making their way down the tunnel to try to get there. But Luffy and Lucci are still fighting. Now remember the fact that I said that Lucci is a bastard and a bit of a psycho. And the tower that they're in is underwater. Knowing that the only way that they're going to get across to the bridge that leads to the Gates of Justice, he uses the Tempest Kick to basically damage the walls inside of the tower and start water flooding into the tower itself. Now, fortunately, the tower is built above sea level, so as long as he and Luffy get high enough, it's not going to be a problem. And they make their way quickly up to a room. Unfortunately, the Straw Hats, Granny Kokoro, and Chimney are all making their way down the tunnel towards that very tower. A tunnel that is now flooding, by the way. And they don't really get a chance to get away from it. They are all very quickly swept up. Chopper is about the only one who doesn't know what's going on because he's actually knocked out from the transformation still. And it seems bad. Until we get a bit of a thing. Sanji opens his eyes and he sees a sight that lives in his dreams. And a voice comes to them within the water, saying, "I won't let you die." That voice is a mermaid. Sanji's seeing a mermaid.
Sanji's very happy right now.
Sanji is very happy right now. But that happiness does not last very long. As it turns out, the mermaid is actually Granny Kokoro. Looking like that. The shock of Granny Kokoro not only, being a mermaid, but being a mermaid that looks a good bit like that. It's been disowned by my brother. Uh-oh. What happened? But not only looking at that, puts them all into a state of shock that ends up actually saving their asses from drowning. Because their bodies shut down enough that they stop trying to take in air for a little bit, and they eventually make it to the escape ship that's on the other side, and are saved by Granny Kokoro, who turns out is a mermaid. As we learn that around age 30 or so, mermaids are able to fork their tails in two and walk around like normal humans. So that's why she's got legs the last time we saw her, because at age 30 they can just do that. But yeah, so everybody's safe. It's fine. In this time period, though, the Buster Call has commenced, starting with the full attack on Annie's lobby. Now, fortunately, at least for the Marines that are on the island, they are not doing what they did in Ohara, where they are blowing up stuff. In order to safely get onto the boats that have come, they just need to show their Marine and World Government codes, and they can easily get on the ship. So, that's all good. Not so much for the Giants, the Frankie family, and Galila, though, as when they arrive at the front gate, they are greeted by, I believe it's about 3 battleships, all trained on them, ready to fire. And the last thing that we hear at that moment, over a call to Frankie, is them calling out to Frankie and the Straw Hats, and then a report from the Marines that everyone who was there had been obliterated. So, from the sounds of it, the people who had come with the Straw Hats in order to save Robin have all been wiped out. But it turns out they're
Just
fine.
one piece and nobody actually dies.
Well, yeah. They are fine. The explosion only sent them over the side, but thanks to Polly, they were able to catch themselves with a bunch of rope, and they're okay. The Marines, they have a way of getting off the island, so they tell Frankie not to worry about it, and everything's good. During the fight with Lucci, we get to see what Gear 3 actually is. And what Gear 3 is, known as Bone Balloon, is where Luffy bites into the bone in his thumb, blowing air into it to expand it, essentially giving him the ability to create giant attacks. The first one he uses is a giant pistol, which looks like that. That's Lucci.
Ah.
Now, as stated, it's got a drawback at the moment. Where after it runs out, he's able to keep the expansion going for about a minute, and then after that he shrinks down into the little baby form for about a minute. So it's got a major drawback. During this time period, we also get a little bit of a flashback regarding Rob Lucci, where we find out that he has always been a psychotic bastard, as way back in the day when he was just a teenager, I think he was about 16, there was a kingdom that was being attacked by pirates. The pirates were able to turn the tides on the kingdom's main forces, forcing them to surrender and taking a bunch of their soldiers hostage in order to demand the kingdom in place of the safe return of the hostages. The world government sent Rob Lucci to help with the situation, which he does. He asks where the pirates are. He goes off to get to them and lets himself get captured. With the pirates thinking that they can actually hold him hostage to make demands on the world government. As it turns out, he wanted to become a hostage so he could get to the other hostages that were taken in order to kill them all, because he deemed them weak and traitors to their kingdom for giving up and causing the situation in the first place. So he murders all of the soldiers that were being held hostage by the pirates, and then after that's found out, and 5 cannons are shot at his back, giving him a back scar that looks suspiciously like the world government symbol, which is, just all kinds of fun. He murders the pirates too. So he's always been a dark bastard. The fight pretty much keeps going for the rest of the arc, essentially. During that time period, not only is Luffy trying his best to actually defeat Lucci, who is the toughest fight he has had so far. He is exhausted. He's starting to get to the point where he can barely move. And Lucci, while he's definitely been put on his back foot, doesn't seem as worse for wear as Luffy does. during that time period, the Buster Call is still going on, and because Robin is still a priority capture target, they are not blowing up the bridge that Robin and the Straw Hats are on, and are essentially sending down the captain level Marines to try to capture them. So during this entire time period, the rest of the crew are fighting a bunch of captain level Marines, doing their best to, you know, try to hold off until Luffy can defeat Lucci and they can all escape the sea. During that time, the escape ship is destroyed, so unfortunately that avenue is looking lost, and things are starting to look grim. During the time period, Usopp actually makes his way over to where the fight is happening between Luffy and Lucci, and sees that Luffy is on the ground. He is on the ground, he is clearly losing, and he's pissed. Usopp tears off his mask, finally showing his face to Luffy for the first time, surprising Luffy because he was, you know, he didn't know that Usopp was here the whole time, because remember, he literally thinks that him and Sogeking are two different people. Usopp is giving just like the most tearful speech about how this place isn't hell. There's no way this place can be hell. We can still see the sky. We can still see the sea. There's no way that this is a place where you can lose. Yelling at him that he needs to get back on his feet, challenging Lucci to a fight, because clearly Luffy can't handle it, and it all leads into Luffy being able to stand back up on his own 2 feet and making the claim that he will not fall again until he has defeated Lucci. He activates Gear 2, going back, and we get another couple of quick rounds of fighting, leading into one of the most iconic scenes in all of One Piece, being the jet Gatling that he uses to defeat Rob Lucci, which the animation for is just fucking beautiful. So Rob Lucci is defeated, the day is saved. Oh shit, we still have a Buster Call to deal with, and oh fuck, Luffy can't move. He is exhausted. To the point where the only thing that can move on him is his head. He is on the ground. He is not going anywhere anytime soon. So they're freaking out, trying to find out what to do, when all of a sudden Usopp hears a voice, and it's coming from the sea. It sounds a lot like in the anime, they give it sort of a dolphin sort of squeaking voice, essentially. But he starts to tear up, and when he looks down, he really starts to bawl, and he yells to everyone that they need to jump into the sea. The rest of the crew starts to hear the voice too, telling them to go to the ocean. And thanks to Robin's help, she basically is able to pop a couple arms over there to where he is, because he's actually too far away from them at the moment, to basically toss him into the ocean, and they all jump down to the sea. The Marines are confused. They don't know why the hell they're jumping into the ocean like that, especially since a good couple of them are devil fruit users. Chopper has woken back up by this point, but he can't move either. But as it turns out, one last friend showed up to help them out. That friend being the Mary. Somehow, some way, she has ended up at Eni's lobby to come and take them back out to the sea. And she's talking to all of them now. Literally saying, I've come to get you and all that. It's a time.
Makes a grown man cry.
It's made many a grown man cry.
It's making me tear up making me tear up a little thinking about it.
So she shows up to get them. There's a big old scene of them getting away because they're able to use the currents in between the ships to find a way to get around. Sanji had the forethought to go into the control room and close the gates of justice, so the whirlpools that are there when it's closed showed back up, fucking up the uh, the Marine ships that are there. It's an all around good old escape, all ending in the culmination of Robin breaking the fucking back of Spundum.
Oh, show me that image. Show me that image.
Let me get a good old thing.
By the way, I have now upgraded 3 of my pieces of armor
Nice.
to the 395. I also have both rings that are 389. I didn't mention
what?
that before. But yeah.
Yeah. You know what? You don't need an image. What you... What? Shut up. What you need is the whole ass video. There you go. Enjoy the hell out of that. Oreo cakesters, hell yeah. It's in Japanese for this one, but it's fine. Love how she covers his mouth so he can't scream.
Holy fuck!
Ah, it's good stuff.
So I gotta ask you a question.
Yeah.
You had said when we finish catching up, getting to the point where we're about to start Wano,
Mm-hmm.
we turn this into a watch along.
Yes.
Are we gonna do the thing where we put the video on in Discord? You start the stream, and we just do a reaction to it as it's going. Are we gonna riff tracks this sucker?
I would love to if it wouldn't get us in trouble.
It won't. I know a few different places that, like, as long as you don't stream the video and you just stream our reaction,
Yeah.
you're good.
Yeah. We could do something like that if we want to. Yeah. Just tell everybody to make sure that they're pulling stuff up. Yeah, we could do that. I'd be down.
Yeah, so we'd have somebody other than you stream it probably, just to make sure that, just to reduce strain on your system a little.
I mean, the
But-
strain on my system isn't the problem. I just got to make sure it doesn't pick up the audio from it. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got no issue with with strain on my computer. I'm currently running 3 screens, OBS, 2 versions of my own stream, and Photoshop. With BattleNet still open, Steam open, a couple hundred tabs. No, my computer's fine. I paid a couple $1,000s for this thing. It better be able to handle all this shit.
Yeah, I paid a few thousand for mine a few years back. I
Uh,
probably put in another,
eh,
and maybe put 1,000 into upgrades in the past couple of years.
But yeah, so they've gotten away. We also got a little fun thing where cannonballs are being fired, and Luffy really wants to help, but the only thing he can move his head, so he's trying to inch his way. And eventually, Zoro and Sanji are like, "Fine, you want to help?" They both grab him by 2 different ends, by his arms and legs, spread him out so it catches all the fucking cannonballs and launches them back at one of the battleships. With Usopp yelling at them that they're monsters, and all 3 of them giving a thumbs up. It's a good old time, and we need that good old time, because as they finally make it out to sea and they're thanking the Mary for showing up, The portion of the keel of the ship that has been heavily damaged finally gives way, and the front half breaks off. And it's very, very clear now, especially as Galila shows up with Iceberg in tow, that the Mary is at her end. She's done. Iceberg actually says that during the time period while they were gone, he was on his way back after fixing up Rocket Man a bit. He heard a voice off on Scrap Heap Island and found the Mary, who was essentially begged him to fix her up enough so she can go out to sea and get her friends. So the Mary has reached the last thing that she can, and the only thing that they can do now is essentially let her sink. So in lieu of just leaving her in the ocean, with a couple of with rowboats that were provided by the Galila company ship, because Aqua Laguna is long since done by now, they essentially set up a Viking burial for her. The others stay in the back watching the ship while Luffy goes up with a torch, lighting her on fire, and they all kind of give their goodbyes. The Mary speaks to all of them one last time, saying thank you for caring for her, thank you for treating her as well as they did, and apologizing that she couldn't go any further, leading into Luffy, of course, yelling that it's not her fault, he was dumb and he let it break, and Usopp was never very good at fixing the ship. And at this point, Usopp has hidden himself again from at least Luffy and Chopper by putting his mask back on, so Luffy doesn't think that Usopp's there, even though he is. It fucking hurts. It hurts a lot. But yeah, the Mary had a good life. She was very thankful for the people that she had, and that ends out the Enies Lobby arc. They go back to Water 7 to recuperate and be happy they got their friend back. Robin's safe. Meanwhile, back at Enies Lobby, the Buster Call was initially going to continue pursuing the pirates, but Aokiji contacts the vice admirals in charge and tells them, no, don't worry about it. Saying, we just fucking used a Buster Call on these guys. The strongest, one of the most powerful things that we can call on anyone, and they were able to escape and made us look like idiots doing it. Just leave them be. So, thanks to Aokiji, the Buster Call stops there, and the Straw Hats are one of the very few people in the world to have ever survived a Buster Call. So that's a nice hit to growth to the reputation of the Legend of the Straw Hat Pirates.
That's a nice line. That's a nice line item on the resume. Yeah.
Especially since we come to find out later that the world government is giving the Straw Hats credit for being the ones to burn down Enies Lobby.
Of course.
Instead of admitting that, they kind of burned down their own place in an attempt to defeat the Straw Hats, they're blaming the Straw Hats for it. So that's a whole
in a roundabout way.
In a roundabout way. So now we kind of go into the post Enies Lobby arc, which is going to be the final arc of the Water 7 saga, and therefore we'll be done.
Right, stream.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna go into Thriller Bark. Not after all that. So Thriller Bark will be the start of next one. That one shouldn't take too long to explain, so we can probably go into a little bit of the next saga after that. But yeah, so the Straw Hats are back at Water 7. Everything seems to be cool. Robin is safe and sound with them, and in celebration, they accidentally start a massive pool party at the Galila. Bless you. At the Galila company, which is all kinds of fun. Something that Nami quickly comes to regret the next day, because she finds out that 200 million berries were used for all of the food and drink for the party that encompassed pretty much
Jesus.
the entire town. I mean, they gotta feed 2 giants too. I mean, shit. It's just called Post Annie's Lobby or Post Water Set? Post Annie's Lobby. All right. But yeah, everything seems to be going good. We do get a very brief moment of Aokiji showing up with the at the party. He's kind of hidden away behind a wall and specifically shows up behind Robin. You know, essentially he's trying to confirm that she truly has found where she belongs in this case. Because again, like I explained last time, the whole reason why he was even doing this was because he figured that listening to Saul and letting her get away like she did was a mistake, because she had been running through all of these organizations, constantly on the run, causing problems everywhere and seeming to be out to do exactly what he thought she wasn't going to do. But now he realizes that he's with a crew, that she's with a crew that is her friends. Everything about this crew is what she has been looking for this entire time. She reaffirms that. He says, all right, live your life. And he leaves. So we won't see him for a little while. But yeah, so we get a big old party. Let me see if I can get an image of that party. Including Usopp showing up as Sniper King for the party because he's still too afraid to face his friends, and singing his song. Search it. Before said party starts, there is a bit of a thing that happens because Luffy is still recovering, and he has apparently developed a technique to allow him to not miss food while recovering from a fight or a big fight, in that he has learned how to eat while sleeping. So that's a thing that's going on. During that time period, there is a marine ship that has arrived on the island. A familiar marine ship, if you'll remember, way back. He learned how to what? He learned how to sleep eat. So he's able to get his sleep and he's able to eat. Where's Garp's ship? Yeah, Garp shows up. Do you remember who Garp is?
Is that the whale?
Okay. No. That's the old man.
Is that the
who,
frog?
No, that's the old man who took in Kobe and Helmeppo way back.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. He has a very particular ship. This ship arrives on the island and disembarks, leading with a very large, massive. That's Garp's ship. It's got a dog on it.
I like it. It's good.
He's got a massive group of Marines following after him, and they are heading directly towards the Galley Law Company, where the Straw Hats are currently recovering. Zoro is actually the first one to see this, trying to go warn the others, but unfortunately he keeps getting lost, so he does not arrive in time to warn the others, as Garp arrives at one of the walls, taking off his
Garp, 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 Garp.
Monkey D. Garp. He takes off his dog mask that
Is he a
we
D?
saw the first
Garp's
time.
not a D, is he?
Hold on. Let me finish. This is him without his mask on. Quite the interesting looking old man. He
Very good
breathes on
posture
his.
for his age, I must say.
He does, and he's also very strong for his age, as he basically just punches out the wall leading to the room where Luffy and the others are. The others freak out, seeing that, holy shit, a Marine, not just a Marine, but this is actually Garp the Hero, one of the most famous Marines in the entire world, has just
Hang on.
shown up at their fucking doorstep.
You cut. You cut
What?
out, and I need to say this first. You cut out for a minute, but I need to say this. He's one big hatch from telling me to go to the Dugsdale Dimmadome.
Yeah, kind of. His epithet is Garp the Hero. He is the hero of the Marines, one of the most famous Marines in the entire world, regarded by civilians and Marines alike as just an incredible person. And he's just blown out the wall to the Straw Hats, freaking them out. Luffy is still sleep eating off at a table nearby. He sees this, chuckles, and says, he hasn't changed a bit, has he? Immediately shoots over to him, past the rest of the crew, including Frankie, who had shown up to talk to the Straw Hats about something, and decks Luffy in the head. And Luffy cries out in pain. He is made of rubber. This is a rubber man. A punch shouldn't do any damage to him, but it does actual damage. And we're not talking
A punch should
comedic.
be. Hang on, a punch shouldn't hurt him. It should be mildly uncomfortable as he feels the tension. It should not cause pain.
Yep. It not only causes pain, but it also causes a massive welt and for him to scream out. Which is a shock to the others. And Garp says, yeah, well, unfortunately for him, a fist of love is able to bypass a devil fruit.
Ah,
So, yes, Garp is a D. Specifically,
What?
he is Luffy's grandpa.
What?
yeah.
I love how you say that like you should know, Ben.
What's happening? I heard loud burp noises.
Exactly.
Hi.
Luffy's
Yeah,
grandpa.
Hi, love you.
Luffy's grandpa has been revealed, and it is Garp the Hero of the Marines, one of the most famous vice admirals in the world.
This is
But
gonna
not
make
only that,
awkward.
oh, it's gonna get even more awkward because,
Even turn. I was
Garp
like, oh,
also-
wait, hello, my model's right on screen.
well,
Turn.
yes, I've noticed you the whole time. I've just been not saying anything because I'm doing an explanation right now.
Yeah, I know. Anyway.
Garp not only is not only revealed to be his grandpa, but he also reveals Luffy's dad,
Okay.
a man by the name of Monkey D. Dragon.
Okay.
A
Great name.
man is a good name and a good looking dude nonetheless. Monkey D. Dragon is very specifically important for a different reason. This is the man who is in charge of
Don't tell me this man led the Buster Call.
No, he did not lead the Buster.
No, no,
He's
he's
not
not.
associated with the Marines. Monkey D. Dragon is the most wanted man in the world and the leader of the
course.
Revolutionary Army.
So wait, we have the greatest hero of the Marines, the most wanted man in the world, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, and what is quickly becoming the most famed pirate in the Seven Seas.
Or the future king of
Yay!
the pirates. Yeah, the
What
monkey
is this
family's
happening?
the monkey family's a little fucked up. Now, the only one who doesn't react to that information is Luffy himself, because he doesn't care about like that kind of information in the world.
course.
He never even asked who his dad was.
What are you
like,
gonna
"Oh,
say
you're-
next? His
you're-
mom
you're
is
my
a
granddad,
celestial
you know."
dragon?
We don't know anything about his mom, and we highly never will.
Oh man.
It's not going to be important unless Oda feels
She's
like it will.
Animated mom disease.
Yep, she's got anime mom disease.
Turtle's like,
she
what in the world?
died off screen.
Oh my god, I love this.
But yeah, Luffy is not only the grandson of the greatest Marine to ever live, but also the son of the revolutionary and most wanted man in the entire world. It's a really interesting family.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting family.
The family dynamic. Imagine family reunion, like just family dinner.
That's what I
in
said.
general.
Thanksgiving's gonna get real fucking awkward.
'Cause
But
Grant's
the
like,
reveals,
"So,
the reveals are not
son,
done yet.
What?
What? Huh?
We have another couple of people to talk about. Very specifically two. As Luffy goes out to try to stop Zoro, who finally made his way to Galila, from attacking the Marines, because Garp is just here to say hi. He's not actually here to capture his grandson, even though that's what what he was ordered to do. But he's just going to give an excuse that, I can't just capture my own grandson. So I'm sure they'll be fine with that. He goes out to try to stop Zoro. Yeah, he goes out to try to stop Zoro, but he's attacked by a pink-haired guy. I'm waiting to see if any kind of thing drops before I do this.
Flamingo?
No. He is attacked.
Yes?
It's not even a good guess. He is attacked by this pink-haired boy right here.
No way!
Kobe's done some growing up over the course of the last 6 months.
Look at him in his little sailor outfit.
He's doing good. He is heavily trained. He's been heavily trained by Garp along with Helmeppo, and actually has mastered a couple of the 6 powers techniques, specifically using Shave to try to attack Luffy. But Luffy had already been through all that, so he's able to pretty easily beat him. We also get to see Helmeppo, who briefly engages with Zoro, but gets his ass kicked. Now, if you thought that Kobe had a good glow up, you ain't seen nothing. Look at this motherfucker. Now, just as an aside, to get you what he used to look like. Like, that's a pretty big difference between the two of them.
He actually has a human hairstyle now.
A human hairstyle. He's actually a much better person now. This is the two of them have been brought here by Garp as a little bit of a favor, because they've been doing very well in their training, to come see Luffy and Zoro and do a little catch up. We also get the drop.
Aw, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's very good of a grandpa who threw Luffy into the woods, die, but to get stronger to become a Marine, and toss him off a cliff one time to become stronger to become a Marine, and
Did a lot of things to make him stronger to become a Marine.
And then he ran off to be a pirate. We also get the name drop of a couple of other things in this post Enies Lobby chapter. We have our first talk of the 4 Emperors, which is a group of pirates.
That's a way to run it. That's a way to run an organization.
Well,
4 top men. We got our top men working on it.
Well, it's 4 separate organizations that are just treated as one big group. These are 4 pirate captains who, in the next half of the Grand Line, known as the New World, are in control of multiple islands, have large territories, full organizations going, which are Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom, and a very familiar person, Shanks.
Yo, Shanks!
Shanks is one of the 4 Emperors of the Sea.
Are any of them D's?
No. Get a little. That's a bit of a early image of the 4 Emperors. So this is the initial image of the 4 Emperors. 2 of them have changed a lot since this image came out. I'm just gonna put it over top of Garp So, we got Whitebeard. Shanks. Big Mom.
And I guess Garp is the fourth.
No.
Fourth's just not
This
on
is
screen.
just the fourth is right here.
Oh. Couldn't see the
They
person
changed.
past the chin.
Yeah. Well, it's fine because both Big Mom and Kaido's designs change a hell of a lot over the course of, I think, the 15 years it took for them to finally be on screen. We're not close to seeing it, either of those two, for quite a long time. But yeah, Garp explains that the New World is basically ruled by them because that half of the Grand Line is even more untamed than the part of the Grand Line that they're currently on. The part they're on actually being known colloquially, I don't know how to say that word.
Colloquially.
Thank you. It's known as Paradise by most pirates compared to the New World. So yeah, the second half is going to be crazy. And as it turns out, to get to the second half, the next destination that they're going to be going to is actually Fishman Island, which is about 10,000 meters below sea level on the ocean floor.
Then it's not an island!
I mean, it is an island. It's island. It's got an island and it's got its own signature and everything. In fact, the log pose is pointing to it, angled just slightly down, to show that they need to go underwater. But thankfully, they got Granny Kokoro there, who's from Fishman Island, so she can tell them a little bit about it, and especially about the fact that they're gonna have to pass through a place called the Florian Triangle, where about 60 ships a year go missing. So they got some shit ahead of them. Before they
you
can
said
make it.
that really loud, dude.
He did. He got very mad about the fact that it was underwater. It's not even the loudest he's ever gotten.
I know.
No, not close to it.
We also get the name drop of a very important figure for the future, which is a man named Dr. Vegapunk, who is a marine scientist who actually not only developed the technique for items to consume devil fruits, so you can blame him for that. He also is the one who developed the ability for marine ships to actually travel across the calm belt without being attacked by sea kings, which basically comes down to strapping sea prism stone to the bottom of the hull. And since it gives off like a feeling of the sea kings there don't notice them, essentially. And of course, the way to just travel. Okay.
Would that mean being on the ship would like mess with your devil fruit powers?
You have to touch it.
Oh, okay.
It's only on the bottom of the ship.
Sea Prism Stone is literally kryptonite, isn't it?
For devil fruit users, yeah. Like, it can't kill a devil fruit user, it just weakens them. That's all. I think if Superman is, like, in contact with kryptonite for too long, it can actually kill him.
Yeah.
I wish you had been in here for the Garp reveal, Turtle.
Insane, isn't it?
Huh?
Garp is Luffy's granddad? Oh my
He's
God.
grandpa. I mean, it was so surprising. It even surprised the Marines that were with Garp. Whew. We're not even done. We got more shit to go. We just gotta wait for King to get back. We should be wrapping up by about 9:30, though, I think. At the latest.
Well, good.
I know. We're just waiting for Kane to get back. He just can't sit still for more than 2 minutes.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back. But yeah, so we learn about Vegapunk and the contributions that he has been making to the Marines, the world government, and technically the world, since anyone who's a part of the world government can benefit from his stuff. After that, Garp leaves. The party happens. Afterwards, there is a bit of information that Frankie has for the crew. Now, remember, he stole money from them. About $200 million. 200 million berries worth. And he went to spend that on the black market as a little bit of a reminder. As it turns out, the reason the thing he was going to get, very specifically, was a type of wood that is very rare and very strong. It is known as atom wood. It essentially comes from a tree that is from an island that is constantly at war. The tree itself has been standing for generations throughout this war and has never even come close to falling down. Occasionally, branches and stuff do fall off of the tree and end up on the black market. The wood itself is said to be so sturdy that it can make some pretty strong ships. To a point of fact, Gold Roger's ship was made from the same wood. A ship that sailed the entire Grand Line. And Frankie, now that he has a piece and blueprints for a ship that he has been designing for years, wants to build that ship for the Straw Hats for them to take. Essentially for free. They really paid $200 million for it, but we're not going to go into that. So they agree, and Frankie, along with Iceberg and the Galley Law guys, go to Scrap Heap Island and start building the ship. And they build it in one night. The ship is, of course, our second and hopefully last ship that will ever be made for the Straw Hats. Is the Thousand Sunny. At least that is the name that we'll have. It is currently still not named at this point in the story, but it will get named the Thousand Sunny. It's got a lion head. Is good.
He's very good.
This is the current ship of the Straw Hat Pirates. It has not been replaced since, and hopefully never will be. We'll see what happens, though. But yeah, so that is made for the Straw Hats in the time period of basically a single night. Yeah, it is a night because there's a couple filler episodes that I think are supposed to be a couple of days, but they don't actually happen, so they're not important. During this time, though, some things start to happen. Very specifically, information finally starts to get out, and the Straw Hats get some information that is really good for some of them, not so great for the rest. And that is new bounties. And I do mean bounties. The
Plural.
entire crew for the attack on Enies Lobby, declaration of war on the world government, now has bounties. Every single one of them.
So run through it. Who's got
Oh,
what?
I am. So, starting with the smallest of them. Chopper, 50 berries.
I want to point out real quick. All of these say wanted, dead, or alive. Even the person only worth 50 berries. Just want to point that out. The world government is willing to kill you over 50 berries.
Well, they don't realize that he's actually a true member of the crew. He is mistaken as a pet.
That's fair. I'm just making point.
Oh yeah.
You can get killed. The world government will kill you over 50 berries.
Oh yeah. His epithet is Cotton Candy Lovin' Chopper. The next lowest is Nami with a bounty of 16 million, known as the Cat Burglar. We have
for the climbing. Okay.
We have Sniper King, King of the Snipers, for 30 million berries.
Wait. So it's Sniper. Oh.
Yeah.
So Usopp still doesn't have a bounty.
Technically. Next is Blackleg Sanji, 77 million berries. Attempt to take photo, failed. If you take a nice little look at his poster there.
Poor Sanji.
It's a sketch. He does not take that well. Roronoa Zoro, 120 million berry bounty, as he has been essentially doubled. Demon Child Robin with new picture updated. Now it's not just her little child picture. She is now worth 80 million berries. And Monkey D. Luffy, Captain of the Straw Hat Pirates, 300 million berry bounty. His bounty has tripled from the incident. And he is definitely up there among some of the most well-known pirates, at least in the first half of the Grand Line. Now, that's not the only bounty to come out, as one last bounty is revealed, one that the Frankie family is very freaked out about, and that is Frankie's bounty. Known as now as the epithet of Cyborg Frankie, he has a bounty of 44 million berries. And they are asking that the Straw Hats take him with them out to sea, so that way he's not going to be in danger by staying on Water 7. Now, two things. One, well, actually three things now that I think about it. Luffy has already decided that Frankie is going to be the cruise shipwright. He wants Frankie. They've just had a lot of, shit happen together. They've bonded in a sense. So he was already planning on asking Frankie to go with them. Problem with Frankie, the guy's stubborn. He does not want to leave behind Water 7 because he feels like he owes it to Tom to remain here, in a sense. But, his dream is not only to build a ship that can travel the entire Grand Line, but remember, his entire dream was he wanted to also be on that ship to outdo Tom in basically not just making one of the best ships in the world, but being on it the entire time as its shipwright. That dream has not died within him, but he still feels an obligation that he has to stay, so the Frankie family is going to have to figure out a way to get him to go with them. We'll get into that in a moment because we have one other problem, that being Usopp. Usopp has not officially rejoined the crew.
No.
Sanji has found that he's planning on trying to come back to the crew. having come across him in the distance, essentially going, you know how our brains love to go over scenarios and be like, if this happens, I'm gonna do this and that kind of shit. He's essentially was doing that out in the open. Unfortunately, one of the things that is problem with that is that he's playing it off. It was more of him leaving was a joke, not trying to play it up seriously. And though Luffy and Chopper and the other, like a fool, yeah, and the others are somewhat willing to go get him and bring him back to the crew, Zoro immediately stops them. And he says, if you want Usopp to come back to the crew, that's perfectly fine. I'm fine with that. But he's not just going to come back and play off like nothing happened. He not only left the crew the way that he did, but he challenged the captain to a fight. This isn't something as simple as, water under the bridge. If he doesn't come back with anything less than an apology to rejoin the crew, then he's not allowed to come back on. Stating that if he is allowed to come back on without that, Zoro will leave instead. Because as dumb as Luffy is, as goofy as he can be, he is still their captain. And if there is not respect for the captain, then the crew will fall apart. And as much as everyone hates to admit it, Zoro is right. So they resolve that if by the time that they leave Water 7, Usopp has not come to them apologizing for what has happened, and, stating that he was wrong for what he did, then they'll leave Water 7 without him. So we cut to the next day, and everybody's getting geared up to leave. The plan is hatched on how to get Frankie to the ship, so that way they can convince him to get on the ship, which turns out to be stealing the only pair of briefs he's got. Which has the Frankie family literally stealing the underwear off of his butt, making him streak his way all the way through town, freaking out the entire town as they try to get him over to Scrap Heap Island for where the ship will be left. It does work. It is a hell of a thing. Including
at any point, does he get more than a single pair of underwear? Does that happen at any point in the entire series?
I would hope so. I mean, Oda doesn't really focus too much on them buying clothes unless it's the girls, but I'm sure that Robin and Nami have bought him more than just one pair of underwear at some point. He never puts on pants, I can tell you that. The last time he wore pants, his mentor died.
Never again.
Fair enough. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, you can't argue that. But yeah, so they do get him there. There's a touching scene of him trying to say that he doesn't want to join the crew. We get a comedy scene of Robin using her powers to put two hands down below and grabs him by the balls.
Oh my god.
Which is essentially, basically, gives him an excuse to cry in front of everyone. Because she lets go not too long after. And he just keeps crying and pretending like he is being held on because he's sad that he has to leave and having to leave behind his, his gang and all that. And they don't want him to go, but he kind of needs to go because he's wanted man. Not to mention the fact that he's literally a pirate born and bred because his parents were pirates, so he belongs out at sea. That whole thing. And when his group went to watch him building the ship over the course of the time period, Zombai actually noted that he'd never seen Frankie look as happy as he did at that moment that he was building the ship. So he knows that this is what Frankie was meant to do, was to be a shipwright, to build ships and all that kind of shit. So that's kind of the send-off for that. So they start getting ready. So far, Usopp hasn't shown up, but they're thinking about giving it just a little bit more time. Unfortunately, that quickly changes as the person who said that they weren't here to capture the Straw Hats turns up to capture the Straw Hats. As Garp
Damn it,
is-
Grandpa!
well, he's not happy about it either. As he's coming in, Aokiji is on the ship, having no other transport back other than his bicycle, and he doesn't feel like going riding all the way over there for right now, and has been ordered to keep an eye on Garp because Garp has been ordered to capture Luffy with Garp's assistant guy going, well, you should have known that just saying, hey, I can't capture my grandson wouldn't be enough for Sengoku. So he has been ordered to
Sengoku Masada, yeah.
well, Sengoku, the current fleet admiral of the Marines. I've shown him before.
I'm sure you have. I also don't remember it.
I know. I'm getting a picture.
I level's 367, by the way.
Nice. Last I checked, I was like 395, I think.
Yeah, you also don't have nearly as much like stuff to do in Exile's Reach. You're doing this for not Exile's Reach. God, I keep making that mistake. Forbidden Reach. Like you've got the vaults to do, but I'm trying to get my gear.
There's Sengoku.
Okay.
The guy with the seagull on his head.
Yep.
Saw him a long time ago. Anyway. Yeah. So because he did not give a good reason as to why, he should have really just said, oh, they got away. Oops. Instead, he's been sent back to capture Luffy and the Straw Hats. Though, because he's his grandson, he will do it himself. And by do it himself, he means that he will only be the only one attempting to attack the ship. Which he proceeds to do by literally throwing cannonballs at the ship that are way faster than any cannon they have ever come across. Specifically, this is his Meteor Fist, where he is able to literally chuck cannonballs at the ship, or chuck cannonballs faster than any cannon can fire, and do a hell of a lot more damage. Him claiming that he's actually, he's not doing as well as he used to do in his younger years. So, you can imagine. Now, unfortunately, this means that they need to get going. So they can't afford to truly wait for Usopp anymore. So the sails are set. They're setting out to sea. At this same time, Usopp is coming over to tearfully reunite with the crew, ready to jump back on board and be accepted, thinking he'll even be accepted as the first mate kind of situation. So he hasn't learned his lesson yet. He very quickly has a tone change as he sees the ship starting to sail away, jumping down to Scrap Heap Island, screaming out to them to stop and wait, and calling out to them about how it's fine, you can definitely let me come back, and that kind of shit, which they all ignore except for Chopper, who, he's sort of the kid of the group kind of situation. So he's wanting to, he's like, can't you guys hear him? And they're all like, no, I can't hear anything. Until he finally screams out that he's sorry for everything that he did, for fighting the captain, for being an idiot. And he wants to come back, and is begging for them to take him back. And that's what they needed. So Luffy.
Can I ask? Can
Yeah.
I? So Luffy reaches back an arm and rips him off the shore and pulls him onto the boat.
Yeah, pretty much. He throws a hand out to him saying, grab on. He does. Pulls him back. And the pullback is not only enough to get him back onto the ship, he basically bonks the two of them against each other. But they're all back together, and it's all good. They take a moment to name the ship while still being attacked by Garp. Not entirely worried anymore. much to Garp's chagrin. And Luffy, after being told by Frankie that they got an easy way of getting away, jumps up on the back of the boat, yells out to Garp saying, "Hey, we're sorry, but we're about to get away." Which pisses Garp off something fucking fierce. And he decides to pull out the big guns. Proceeding to bring out a giant ball and chain that is bigger than anything you could hope to be, and bigger than the fucking ship that it's fucking on. Here's somebody who did the math on that, by the way. And throws it at Luffy's ship out of sheer anger of his insolent grandson saying that he's gonna get away. But they do get away, because as it turns out, Frankie designed a quick escape function inside of the Sunny. The thing on its back, right about Mia, is not just some nice little fashion accessory. As it turns out, with 3 kegs of cola,
on this thing?
with 3 kegs of cola shaken up, he can actually make the fucking ship fly for a full meter. Or for a full kilometer. Essentially,
a meter is like
I know.
not
I have
really
to think.
flying.
I have to think in other terms. They didn't use mile, but essentially, it can launch itself into the air for a full kilometer to get away from situations. It uses up about 3 kegs of cola, but it does effectively get them away, freaking out all of the Marines, including even Aokiji, who had just been kind of chilling at that point, just shocking the hell out of them that a ship literally just took off. So the Straw Hats have gotten away. They're off. They are gone from Water 7, on their way to their next adventure, but we're not quite done yet.
Okay.
There is a little bit more to go in the fact
All right,
that we
Nintendo
got
Direct.
Well, this does literally happen right after, so.
One more thing.
One more thing. In the time period, just a little bit before they left, when the bounties came out, there was an incident that happened on a island called Bonero Island. On this island, a bit of a fated duel came to play out. That duel specifically is between
Can you tell me the
Marshall
Giants finally figured their shit out?
Oh, the Giants went back home to Elbath.
Okay.
They're like, okay, so the duel's still going on. There's no reason for us to go there until it gets figured out. We're going to go to Elbath. Hey, whenever you get the chance, roll by. You know, that kind of thing. No. On that island of Bonero Island, a little bit of a fated meeting finally happens. In that, this would be Bonero Island. Ace finally catches up to Blackbeard. So now Blackbeard has found out about what's going to happen to what happened on Ennie's lobby, and he's like, hey, that's going to skyrocket the kid's bounty. We should go fucking cut them off if they haven't left Water 7 yet, so we can turn them over to the world government. Because they still need to build up a reputation so they can become he can become the next warlord of the sea. Now they're looking a little bit different now. Looking a little better than the last time that we saw them. And also it's the full crew at the moment. Or at least the full current members of the crew, being Teach, Burgess, Lafitte, the sniper guy from Sniper Island, where's his name? Van Auger, and Doc Q. I'm trying to see if I can get a picture of them. There we go. They were doing a raid on this island, which is some off the beaten path place. So the citizens had all left, and they're talking about going after Luffy until Ace shows up, and and essentially initially Teach talks to Ace as if he's seen an old friend. He doesn't really fully come to terms with the fact that Ace is probably there to kill him for what he did, which is killing a crewmate on Whitebeard's crew. But he starts to explain, well, I had to kill him. I didn't have a choice. He found the devil fruit I was looking for. And you know the rules on Whitebeard's ship. Anybody who finds a devil fruit is the one who gets to eat it. So we find out the reason why he murdered a crewmate. It was for the power of a very specific devil fruit. That devil fruit is a Logia fruit known as the dark fruit. It's pretty straightforward. It gives the person the ability to become darkness.
I attack the darkness. No. I become the darkness. Yes.
I become the darkness. And you know what? It's not a fruit to like sneeze at. The actual abilities of it are... It essentially operates off black hole logic a little bit. The dark fruit is able to basically pull things in, suck them into the person's body, and then expel them outwards if he wants to. It's a hell of a fruit, I'm just gonna say. Now we quickly find out that it's not the same as your typical Logia fruit, as well. Ace understands the power behind the fruit, as it's demonstrated where essentially Blackbeard sucks in the entire town, crushing it in the darkness and then re-expelling it out as a means of displaying the power that he's gained.
Holy fuck.
It's a fucking hell of a scene. He proceeds to attack Teach. Now, this is a Logia devil fruit. It's supposed to prevent you from being able to take damage. Teach takes the hit. It doesn't pass through him. He gets two spears of fire thrown at them, and they stick in, and he is in fucking pain. And not just the general pain that you would feel from being stabbed with fire spears. It seems like he is far more pain than even that. As it turns out, the Logia devil fruit doesn't allow you to just turn into the dark fruit doesn't just turn you into an element and allow you to dodge an attack. It takes in everything. That includes attacks. And not only that, it amplifies the pain that the person feels. So this is a very unique Logia fruit by the standard of the genre. Now, there are more benefits than there are problems with this fruit, as he demonstrates by using his fruit to not only call Ace into his hand by holding it out, using an ability he calls Darkness Take You, which sucks him in. Black Hole to suck him in. When he touches Ace very quickly realizes something. He touched him.
Yeah.
His body did not turn into flame. And then he gets immediately punched in the face. And he feels it. This devil fruit doesn't just suck in attacks or items. If he touches a devil fruit user while using his power, it takes away their devil fruit powers while he's in contact. Meaning that a Logia type can be punched. This is a hell of a fruit. The scene comes to an end pretty quickly after. Despite the fact that, he definitely knows that he's at more of a disadvantage. Ace is not the kind of guy to run away. He does end up continuing the fight, resulting in him using one of his abilities known as Entei, where he creates a massive, like basically giant sun of fire in his hand to attack the enemy with. And this is the final scene that we get before cutting away and ending out the arc.
Wow.
Uh-huh. And we don't know the result of that fight for quite a bit. So yeah, that's the end of the Water 7 saga.
That's a
wanna start
lot,
doing-
man.
Do you want
That's
to start
a
doing
lot.
the watch along now? We can start it now.
No.
Instead of waiting for Wano.
No, you're gonna explain every single thing up to Wano, and then we're gonna do Wano.
But yeah, the Water 7 saga is a hell of a saga. And it's a good time. It hurts, but it's fun. And there's a lot of shit that happens. It's good. But yeah. Thank you for everybody who joined in. Turtle, I'm sorry you didn't get to stay and call for the whole thing. Clee, Ben, thanks for joining us.
No problem.
Who's doing stuff?
You should rate with someone playing Pirate Warriors or something.
There's a lot of people doing stuff. Cam's playing Jedi Survivor though. Let's see. Card game, Odyssey. Yeah, we can.
I'm
do
killing
this
this
guy.
spider again.
All right. I got a guy who's playing Odyssey. Shin
Nice.
ZX21. We're gonna go ahead and rate him. I thank everybody who came on by. We will be back tomorrow with a drawing stream for Turtle, unless something happens, and then we'll be back with something else. But yeah, thanks to everybody who joined in. I hope you all have a good old freaking time. Get the hell out of my house.
We clear?
We're clear.
Ah.
Bye bye,
Good
watchers.
stream.
Yes.